allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do a roll call. Van Buren.
Yeah.
Ben Huff.
Yeah.
Jeff Chorpenning.
Here. Talk about the farm grant.
Yeah. Good. Parks grant, we have to have a sponsor since we're independent, contracted by the township. I think Quartercasters. This part down here.
Okay.
I can mail it in, here's a copy of it. What it is for Mark's radios for our system. We have Mark's radios right now, as of March of 2015, they're going to be out of date because the state's going to a new system. So the fire marshal has come out with a grant, trying to see if all the departments can get update their records.
Just this bottom part.
So we're going to send it in. The check will come to you, it's $24,000 grant we're asking for. Hopefully we'll get it. We'll be able to update some of our radio equipment.
What's the source of the funds?
A state grant through the fire marshals, $3 million grant.
Does each county get allotted so much?
You know, each department can get up to $50,000. But with $3 million, we start figuring it, it's not gonna give everybody $50,000. The thing it does do is the ones with lower budgets have priority. Anybody that's covering under 25,000 people have priority over big cities. And most of Licking County's going to Marks. And that's also in that grant that we were applying as a regional grant also, even though we apply individually. The fire marshal was at our last Chiefs meeting. He seemed pretty positive about it, but we know that once they start reviewing it and seeing how much.
When will you know? When will you know if you got
He
it?
said that it'll be at least October before they even think about awarding. But hopefully we'll know by then.
So you just need a sponsor in township to?
Yes. The checks will come to you and then you'll get the rest and we'll buy the equipment. My name is also on there if they have any questions on the grant.
Is this Jenny's to keep or just?
I'll run a copy of this and get it back to Jim.
Okay.
I just bought two, so you guys can
Okay.
look at it if you want to.
So we need a motion on that? Make it official? It's called the 2015 Marks Grant. And we're sponsored?
Yes.
I move that the township be a sponsor to
National Trail Fire.
National Trail Fire Department for the 2015 Marks Grant application. Does that work?
Yeah, 2014.
Paperwork
Oh,
says
15,
15.
it does say 15.
So they have worded for next year.
Well, it's in, yeah, they're in their fiscal year.
Is there a second?
Oh,
Is there any follow-up we need to do?
no,
They'll
not
just-
unless they call us or something.
So they'll notify Jenny and they'll notify you probably.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll notify both of us.
Do a roll call, Van.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yes.
Ben.
Yes.
discussion? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Correspondence. How's it going, Paul?
All right, sir, like so.
Here's an updated list of the rentals and the amount on the last page shows the balance in the park department, or park fund. I also have the resolution that we need to pass for Patty, but we can do that later.
For what?
For the maintenance grant. I asked Amy if she heard anything back from Barb Weisman's attorney, and she said she had not heard anything. I received revised resolutions about changing the wording on the community building rental resolution. You guys wanted to go over that now?
Just two, right? One is the rental agreement, the other one is the town hall rental resolution.
Yes, that's good. Want to do that later? Let me- I don't think we're copying from your track that we got this. Better not be shopping from your track. Last I heard, it was- I guess that was all I had.
You got pretty red one? Oh, look at that.
There's one thing that was hanging on the door here when I came down one day. It's from the Licking Valley Food Hunters Association out on Fairview Road out here. They're putting on two events, a fish fry and a hog roast. So I'll leave this up here for anybody who's interested and wants to look at it.
They did call me and they want to know about putting it on the sign out here. Bringing forth the meeting. The advertisement.
September 27th.
Well, that's gonna cause a conflict, because you got a auction and the spaghetti dinner on the 27th.
All right, then we'll get up there.
That's all I have.
My turn. I had a couple of calls, Mrs. Spinzola, I know she's here tonight, concerns about Bowling Green Street and the ditch up there. I also have an incident report. There were a couple mailboxes that were taken out, and a couple stop signs that were taken out on Middle Road and the report here gives a little more information on it. The county replaced the stop sign and the recuperator, and the state replaced the stop sign on 40 and Midland Oil. You go through there, I was through there today, and one of the mailboxes is all taped up, so you can see which mailboxes they are. Just for information, that incident number is 14-018225, and I noticed that up in our area, we kind of have an informal community watch, we always have, kind of watch out for your neighbors. On the narrative here, it says that one of the subjects stated that they observed a large green Ford pickup truck. It had run over a stop sign in Middle Oil Road and US 40, but they didn't recognize the vehicle. So, I did have residents there that asked me to share that, and also a resident on Cooper Ridge Road is concerned about the speed of some of the people traveling up there, and requested that I just mention it in the meeting and remind people that watch the speed. Licking County Planning Commission, there wasn't anything on their agenda that was pertinent directly to our township. I did get the records that Jen left down here yesterday. I got copies of the 2014 calendar. Tonight, looks like we have a list here for these deposits for 2012 through 14. And when am I going to get the copies of all the other year's reservation numbers?
When I get to it.
Because at the last meeting, you mentioned that you hadn't done any this year. Is there a reason why you didn't fill out this year at all?
I just haven't gotten, well, we've been changing it like every meeting, so we haven't had a good copy to be given.
So there aren't any from the year other than the one from the auctioneer earlier in the year?
Right.
And the only other thing I had is there's some things out there, a lot of false information that continues on about the amnesty grant. So the resolution I had prepared for that meeting, that the two of you didn't come, I have that here if anyone wants to read it or see it, to reference it. The grant was due to OEPA by February 1st. That was the deadline. It could have been done. I'm going to save that because if they do it in 2015, we can change the date on that, and we might want to participate with the location in Boulder Township next year. And in my notes, on record requests, there were several that I haven't gotten yet. I can't finish that investigation until I get all the stuff I need. So, is it more convenient, Jack, to bring those down here and I can review them, as opposed to making copies? How can we make it go?
I would actually rather make the copies than leave my records down here.
Well, I can meet you down here too. But in order for me to get it done, I need the information.
I'll get you the information.
Also, Mr. Stepp, he called me, said that his record request is
Which
still
would you
not
like me to
filled.
do first?
Mr. Stepp's was back in June.
Okay, so I'm gonna take care of that first.
It's up to you. I think that you should start taking record requests seriously. I
do
can't
take
do
them
my
seriously.
job if you don't give me the information. And the record request Mr. Stepp asked for, I asked him what he asked for, and it didn't sound like it was very luminous or anything. So what is the holdup?
I've just been busy, and then you keep asking for other records. I start on his, and then you ask me for something else. I started on yours, and then you ask me for stuff about the John Chorpenning meeting, and I looked into that. I can't, I gotta get one done before I can jump to the other, and you just keep asking for more stuff.
I need information so I can do my job.
Okay, well, I need
As far as the
time
other
to get
record,
my job
and then there was
done.
also, I understand, Misty Bears asked for things. There's been.
I have answered her
Okay.
several times.
Okay. I'm just following up.
I've answered
All
her.
I can do is.
Did you ask her if I answered her? Did you follow up with her?
That's not my job. My job is to find out why they're not being
We're
filled.
gonna move on.
I'm not done.
She gave you an answer.
It was
I'm
no.
done.
Yes, you're not gonna sit here and hound her.
I'm not done.
We're gonna move on. She said she would
You're
fill
not the
it.
president.
I'm telling
I
you,
had the floor.
we're moving
It's
on.
correspondence, and
I'm
I'm
telling
not
you,
done.
we're moving on. You're not gonna sit here and hound her for an hour.
Nobody's hounding anybody. I have a right to bring correspondence like anybody else does.
Okay.
You wouldn't interrupt.
If you have additional correspondence.
I do.
Not pertaining to record request.
I can be pertaining to whatever it
I'm just telling
pertains to. It's all
We're
township
gonna move on.
business. There were two others, Mrs. Wiseman. Now, did you ever get her record request filled?
What was her record request?
You were supposed to give her a copy of the calendar. I guess I can do that for her now because
I
have a
don't
copy of it.
recall ever hearing that she wanted a copy of it.
She wanted the copies that you always gave to her at the end of the year.
Why does she need those now?
I don't know why she needs them. It's a record request. It's like Gary's. I didn't even ask him why he needed the stuff.
Well, you have a copy of the calendar you can give it to her.
I'll go make a copy of the calendar. I don't have copies of,
Actually,
I don't know- I
you
don't-
should have copies
what
of
does she,
those.
what months does she not have?
It's the last few of 2013 is all she's missing.
November and December.
Probably, yes.
So you're wanting
It may
me-
even only be December. Why don't these people
like Gary brings it through me. He wants to
Why?
make sure it's documented, because he said that he's requested them before, and they've been ignored. He wants to bring.
I have never
I-
ignored, I have always completed his records request. I've never ignored his records request.
What is a reasonable amount of time? The ones he recently asked for was June.
You know, it takes a while to do these things, and I have other things going on in my life.
Is that an unfair
No,
question?
we'll move on.
What's a
Let's
reasonable
move
amount of time?
on.
What's a reasonable amount of time?
No.
Did you hear the words from the president?
That's Trustee's attorney, she knows.
There is no stipulation on a reasonable amount of time.
Well, you're the one that determines that, so I'm asking you, what is?
The president said we're moving on.
We're moving on.
So you
Very good.
can't tell me how long it'll take
Okay.
to get a record request done.
Is that all your correspondence? Okay. Safety, I think everything's all safety.
Ben, I have some information here that I'd like to turn in, but I don't know whether I need to do it with correspondence letters to the
Probably
township
public
trustees, or should I bring
comment.
in as new business?
Probably public comment. Yeah,
New business?
public comment if you have stuff to give to us. Under safety, I think everything's good. Yeah, we're gonna be mowing here, this month, or September, so, or, yeah, September, so. We'll be doing that again, making rounds, doing that.
Department, zoning,
Zoning?
just the one permit.
Yeah, one permit, I also turned in an appeal. It was turned in today, that's the date I put on it.
Who notifies the appeals board?
I get it to Jenny, Jenny will notify you with the check and everything is ready. And then they'll notify the residents in the area and myself of when a hearing is.
Okay.
And there was one new bill. One new bill permit, shall I say. And that's for, house, or, you know, where the old trailer was up there on Cherry Hill, going back to the Sorks farm.
No.
Okay, it got torn down because a tree fell through.
Yeah.
That's where they're rebuilding. Everything's in order.
Okay.
What are they asking for a variance? What problem?
The variance is for section off of 668. That does belong to Thomas Ford. He's going to be selling 10 acres to his daughter, giving 10 acres to his daughter. Problem is, it's non-farmable land, so there is a logging road that goes through that, and he wants to have that as their access road. So the appeal is going to be for the road right of way, because there's no road frontage, there is no road frontage. So that would be the appeal. It has already gone to, we've already stepped in front of the planning, talked to the planning. So they set it all up, so we knew, you know, everything, the road has already been approved. ODOT already approved that area. So now it's just having the township say, yeah, okay, there is no road frontage. There'll be a legal easement all the way back.
That'll have to go from the appeals board.
Yes, Bill for that, that's what we can.
Finished business.
I don't have anything draft. Never led.
I just left it on there.
Want to hear something about it?
Okay.
One thing, has anybody received a letter from Big O on, Big O doing free recycling? Anybody got a letter?
Yeah, when we first got it, they had a thing in there about recycling. But I've never gotten anything telling me it's an update. I mean, it was always there, the contract was renewed.
But the first time there was a cost to recycle.
Not on mine, there wasn't.
It should have been charged the first time around.
But they said once a month, you set it out, they said there was no cost.
You mean like 3 years ago or recently?
Yeah, 3 years ago. But they never put a cost on the contract I had.
Probably was.
It was
I
like
spoke-
once a month you could put it out.
I spoke with the gentleman, he said that they were going to send letters to every place, at every address they picked up at, to offer that free recycling to everybody. Just curious if anybody received a letter.
So is that recycling gonna be like every week?
I don't know. I mean,
think so.
I don't.
Unless, because I knew before it was once a month they would pick up, and there wasn't a cost to it.
He had stated to me that approximately 30 people in the township recycled. There was approximately 350 stops, so I asked him how we could get that number up, for more people recycle. They offered to send out a letter to start with.
But I never knew how, I mean, I don't know how the residents would know either, how do you know?
Right.
Who had to put out for the recycle, they're gonna give you recycle containers? Yeah, the letter, I didn't get a letter, but again, what are you gonna put out?
I don't
Just
know.
put a box out that says recycle, I don't
And
know.
I'll do another follow-up with him and ask him that, but,
Yeah, because that's why I'm here to recycle. They never did that.
Ben, could Jenny put that in the minutes, in the notes here under the trash, under unfinished business, so that we know that that has been requested, to know what has been.
on here.
Well, yeah,
It just
on
has,
the minute, it needs to be on the minutes, what happens in this meeting.
oh, she can do that.
Yeah, that's
Just leave
what
that
I
on
like
there,
to
we'll
see,
discuss
yeah.
it again, sure.
On the grants,
Patty has, I think she has the grant done. She sent me the resolutions. Sorry, this one's really. Yes. Well, this one is.
This is the finished grant. This is the park survey that we did and the volunteer hours that we have. The finished question, I have 2 copies. And a motion. I also have photos of the this. This is your. So we handed out, it's $44,000 is what we're asking for. Solar, we didn't ask
I
for.
can't hear you, I'm sorry with the air.
I'm sorry, I put up pale day and I can't really talk. We didn't ask for solar sunshades because it was $72,000 just for the sunshades.
Is this different than what we use? Is this
It's
more-
just revised. There's a very little, like instead of 450 children, it's 390. There's just very minor revisions in that. It includes the new fence, it includes.
and most of the fine work will take care of the water.
Yeah, there's not,
There's enough hours pledged.
yeah, there's enough hours pledged and everything that we actually
We're gonna
come out
more
of, yeah. And it's- Yeah, the total grant was, 15,000.
Well, so what, there won't be no money for it.
So, fence, gate, community park bench, water fountain, rubber mulch, the fabric for under the mulch, marquee sign, flower planters, rules and regulations sign, spring seed,
That spring fire truck.
yeah, spring, airplane and a fire truck, twist and spin, bike rack, trash cans, restore the floor finish in the community building,
Paint outside of the community building.
paint the outside of the community
And
building.
the cement's for the curb out front.
Okay,
Into the curb.
all right.
Material grants 44.
Okay, so that lines, that's our share. So it's like,
But we have more than enough done.
We'll make, if they're
Way,
all, but
way more than enough. Yeah.
How many changes are on this, Patty? Because I took the time to read this 3 or 4 times.
Probably the number of children. I added a paragraph justifying, was the mulch justified on the other one? I think it was. I think actually that's the only change on it. Yeah, I think the number of children is probably the only change on that.
I know that the board moved the motion, and all 3 of us agreed, since you didn't want it read at the special meeting, we put the narrative on the website. You said it'd be a few days, and I didn't find it there. So I don't think the public's had any
I'm having
opportunity.
trouble with my software that helps me update the website, so it was not on there.
What's the deadline to get this in now?
Posted on September 1st.
I move that we set a special meeting for the board to come in, actually review the grant, all the details, and the changes that Patty has. And do it soon so we can get it done before the deadline.
Okay, you have enough in hand now to offset the cost of what,
With the cost of the
45%?
equipment that they allow,
You have that as a schedule here?
it's one of the, it's,
I have asked Penny to get us the last one, this right here. This is a reference from what was done last time successfully.
those are all in-kind hours.
And the in-kind hours in this report from the last time too.
In-kind hours on the page, just,
Like I said, I moved that we have a special meeting to finalize this. There's a lot of, if you look at the stuff that we highlighted here, are things that I feel that need to be talked about. Some are more important
well,
than
like
others.
here's the, in-kind. And we have this much in cash.
So what are you sharing there?
I say this is the total in-kind labor.
That's what's here.
Yes.
$16,292 worth of in-kind labor.
Which is more than what our share.
Our share would be $22,025. We paid, received $16,292 of in-kind hours. For that, that cost plus use of equipment. Use of our equipment also counts per hour.
Now, the last time we did this, we had information to verify the hours were actually done, followed through with, when we finalized and everything. How did you go about soliciting these?
Door to door.
I'm happy with it.
There's no second to my motion. Is there any follow-up on this after? This will think positive that we're going to get this, and this all happens. Is there any guarantee?
There's paperwork that would come to them. Then we've kind of worked with them on this to do the grant.
Shouldn't it come to the board, not to just?
If you look
I
at-
noticed that you put Ben's name in here, and also, well, there's a lot of minutia in here, I don't want to get too bogged up, but that's why I like to have a special meeting, because I think it's really important to work through all the details to try to be successful.
And if you look at the other grant, there was one person's name on the grant. If you look at the other grant, because we use that as a guide. and Dawn is no longer a trustee. Dawn's name was the only name on the other grant.
Well, the last time that the board, it was December of 2009, we did move to apply for that, which we haven't even done that yet. And it's-
What we need to do, we're gonna do tonight, with a motion
And
for the
this-
board to go ahead, send the name for the
Yes, and this is the motion that you can do, so there's no, it has to be like a little. Just one Jen, you just give a copy.
On the Lowe's grant, it's, I'm just going to take care of it.
Let's do this one.
We do not really have, that's sweet. Where's the-
Whereas,
As far as these, did you change any? There's just a lot of stuff we need to talk about before we move a resolution.
just gonna leave this. Whereas the state of Ohio, through the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, administers financial assistance for public recreation purposes through the state of Ohio Nature Works grant program, and whereas the Bowling Green Township trustees desires financial assistance under the Nature Works grant program, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Bowling Green Township that the Board of Trustees approves filing this application for financial assistance, that Benjamin Huff trustee is hereby authorized and directed to execute and file an application with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources and to provide all information and documentation required to become eligible for possible funding assistance. That the Bowling Green Township Board of Trustees does agree to obligate the funds required to satisfactorily complete the proposed project and become eligible for reimbursement under the terms of the Nature Works grant program, which requires certification of the recording officer. I, the undersigned, hereby certify that the foregoing is a true and correct copy of the resolution adopted by the board held on the 25th.
There's a lot of people in here who don't even live in the township, which is great, but I'm sure there's quite a few others that do live in the township and have no idea.
They're the one who wants us to help, we need to go out there.
But they haven't had an opportunity to have any input, they haven't gotten to see,
They have every
Maybe this
opportunity
year.
to come down, public meeting.
the board agreed to put the draft. We can't force the fiscal officer to act to do anything, but she did agree to do that. As of right now, nobody's seen anything.
I'm gonna make a
So again, I'll
motion.
move that we have a special meeting, go over the details, and also some plain falsehoods that are in this narrative. I mean, here's a pretty important one right here at the very end, and there's a lot that needs to go through here, but if you, did you read it, Dan? Because we, I know there's an updated one, but did you read the original one? All right, because it ends with saying, enclosed is a document from the Friends of Bowling Green Township committee that verifies the community events held in 2013 and 2014. We do not have a committee called the Friends of Bowling Green Township. We have a lot of people call themselves friends, and anyone can be a friend, but this is like a quasi park committee.
And I think
We wanna have a
anybody
park
can start a
committee.
committee, anybody can say they're a committee, anybody can start a group.
But they're not a
It doesn't say in there that they're
You
affiliated.
don't have to be a government entity, and we held events.
There is
One
no,
year.
there is no committee called the Friends of Bowling Green Township, so
Or-
this is it needs to be removed. In your meeting minutes, here, say who your friends
We
are.
have filed.
You stated, it's in the meeting minutes, it says who you are. I think it should state residents with these names. Of course, some of them aren't residents, which, I don't have a problem with non-residents volunteering or whatever, but I don't feel that, and even if they're your mom and her spouse, I don't care. But the fact of the matter is, they're not residents. I do have issue with that. If we're gonna be endorsing a
filed with-
committee
we
based on
filed
what
with
they
this-
have, that committee should be from our residents, not from outside.
We have filed with the state as a nonprofit trust. We just don't have our paperwork out there. We will have it before the grant is approved.
Well, the narrative needs to be adjusted to be factual when it is not, because there is no committee or entity called.
Yes, sir.
There's-
Anybody can
there's-
start a committee.
Yeah, that was proven lately. There's 2 or 3
Anybody can
groups
start a
calling
committee.
themselves Friends of Boulder.
They can't use that name because we've registered with the state of Ohio.
I'd like to see that.
You'll see it as soon as I get the paperwork.
I'd like to
back.
see that.
Um,
I don't think that should be on there until that's official. Because anybody can be a friend.
It's easily adjusted by,
And they repeat.
well, there's a lot of things we need to go over. We need to- Patty, you mentioned at the last one, you stated that every time you apply, you have less opportunity to get it. I didn't read it that way. You might be right. I know when you first do it, you get a bonus. And we did it and we got it. But I'm going to suggest that we hold off. This is round 21. We'll hold off until round 22. Get all the, this also mentions a lot of, it says that the township got quotes. The township didn't get anything. The non-committee of the township has quotes. Now, if we're going to be putting a bid out
I think
for-
you better talk to Ben.
Sure.
Who,
He's not the township. The township is this board right here. The township board has not put out
For
any
us to get a
bids.
quote, I could call and get a quote on a skyscraper being built here. That doesn't mean we have to do it. Okay? There were quotes that were turned in for pieces of equipment that they want to apply for this grant.
Well, where are they?
Okay?
I'd like to review them. I'm part of this board.
Your motion, nobody's seconded. I'm gonna make a motion that we go ahead and accept the motion that was read into the minutes by Jenny pertaining to turning in the nature works grant.
We turn it in, that don't mean we won't get it.
that's exactly right. We-
It means that
We
what you
asked for-
submit is what you have to do.
If
You're
we,
committing to what you're saying you're
Okay.
going to do.
Actually, before we leave here tonight, I have some volunteer forms in my truck, and I'd like for you and your family to fill out hours, volunteer hours.
It's not relevant.
It is very relevant.
How is that
Would you
relevant?
like to commit some hours?
How's that relevant to the business we're trying to conduct right now?
We have a motion on the table,
We might
and
just get a fence.
made a motion to accept the resolution for the grant. Is there a second to the motion?
like a fence, drinking fountain, that kind of thing. So if they only give us money for a fence,
If they give us money for offenses, it'll just match the rest of the board.
that's right. We're not guaranteed.
No, I know, we're not guaranteed.
But I
We're
know
not
state
guaranteed
works,
none of it.
like that's exactly that. If we only get a portion of it, we put down the fence was the most important thing.
We're guaranteed that if we get it, we have to abide by what we said we were going to do.
That's
and
exactly
approve it.
right.
Absolutely.
That's
And what you just said there doesn't verify that.
official group.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
What events were taking place in 2013 that are going to go into that?
We're gonna do roll call. Dan?
Yeah.
We were just in
Jeff?
a group in 2013, as 1 year as a group. We did.
What is this roll call for?
We did, everybody did.
Yeah, it wasn't you.
Can you guys hold those
two.
comments, please? We're gonna take a vote here.
Wait a
But
minute.
there's lies
It's-
on that.
It's pertinent
There are lies on
that we
that.
get input from all the friends. And even the people that aren't here that could have reviewed this detail if they had at least 3 weeks to do it.
I have a question about 2 events. One of them was the spaghetti dinner that was announced on the radio September the 14th, August 14th. Never happened. It was announced, spaghetti dinner, Bowling Green Township announced. There was another one about the farmer's market. Never happened. They were both on the radio. Are these the events they did? Because the other 2 events that occurred, it wasn't this group.
Oh, no, we didn't.
This group split up and took everything on their own. It's a complete different group. They're liars.
Ben,
There's something wrong with this.
Ben, I agree
No,
with
I think it's
Jeff
wrong.
Chorpenning. I believe there should be a special meeting on it, and I believe all the facts need to be going over, and whoever is the friends
I've
that
had
are on
time to
there,
look at
and the people that are on
Jeff
there,
actually has the
they need to
paperwork
be
here that's
listed.
highlighted that he's had for a month. If you
Yeah.
had questions,
And I want to go over
if
it
you
in
had
detail.
questions, why didn't you contact Patty and say, hey, I have a question about this? How many times did you do that?
It's not
How many
required.
times did you do that?
This is the board meeting, this is where it should take place.
How many times did you say, hey, I have a general question on this?
I wanted to spend the time at the special meeting that we paid money to advertise, that you came and presented this to go over these details and hear all these details. You disallowed it.
No,
Your
you're
meeting
wrong.
minutes- no.
You're wrong, Jeff. You wanted to sit here and take notes, okay? That's what you wanted to
Your
do.
meeting minutes
If you
reflect
wanted
part
to
of
read
it.
it, that's fine, but you wanted to take notes is what you want to do. And I'm not sitting here for you to take 16 hours of notes, okay? You can go home and sit on your ass and do that, not here.
Dan, I don't think that's called for. I think we need to calm down.
Mr.
We don't need
President?
this in this meeting.
Mr. President, is this how the meeting will be conducted?
Absolutely.
Why don't you both just settle down?
I'm not settled up.
I don't believe
I've
cussing
never
and
seen
swearing in the
him
meeting
use
is
this.
necessary.
Ignorance.
We still have a motion on the table. I was trying to do a roll call vote. Dan, you said yes. Jeff?
You jumped right to.
So do you. So do
There is
you.
only one motion on the
It's
table.
basically when you call me.
Motion accepting resolution for the grant.
That's right.
Did you get a
I
second?
previously
Did you get a second to that?
Yes, Dan Van Buren seconded.
Okay, so we're still having a discussion. Did someone call the question to vote? Because I
Yes.
think there's who?
Someone there.
We did.
Who?
Ben.
Please take a roll call vote.
I move to amend the motion to correct the errors and lies in the narrative. And I ask the President to follow parliamentary procedure of how you amend the motion. You have people's names. It's in your meeting minutes of who these people are. That one change would be rather simple, where it references this committee. Change it to reference those residents and your family, their names, whoever these people are. That's just one item. And I have studied this, and I do want to go over it. And I think that's the job of the board.
I've had my time.
Now, we have another draft tonight, and I'm just supposed to take Patty's word of what the changes are. I'd have to go through and study it. It's not marked what the changes or anything are. But I did look at some of the things here quickly that I have highlighted. They're still in there. It references documents. I don't see any photos. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that we need to discuss about this, to do it properly, and try to be successful with it.
These are the copies of the minutes. It's all those major groups, this is for the.
Is this what you're attaching?
Those are township copy.
Those are for Lowe's?
No, those are for Nature Works grant. Shows 10 pictures of the fence, planters, playground equipment.
As far as this,
They're also, if you notice, they're also numbered in the final
What's
product.
wrong with the plan?
You just said you want to see pictures. Here they are.
what-
Look at them.
I do see a lot of stuff in here that doesn't even make sense to me.
You just-
Go ahead, yeah.
What?
People worked hard on
Go ahead
those
with your.
You know what's
planters,
gonna
and now they
happen,
just
this
want to remove them
discussion,
because
this
they
is
had
what
nothing to
we're-
do with planters.
Nobody said anything about removing any of those plants.
She said they're gonna replace the planters. That's part of that, replacing the planters. And we worked our hind ends off out there. And they were supposed to be there and didn't come.
It says purchasing new floor
Where
plan.
were you last
She
year?
just
when we
said
planned?
replacing.
You've never done something, so we're gonna,
What, I assume some people know what the narrative says then? You're one of the friends, you know what the narrative says?
No, we have no idea what that thing says.
That was
I
one.
know what the draft says that was at the special meeting. And I'm told there's a few changes, but the public doesn't, and they haven't had an opportunity to review it. That's why it was gonna be put online, and all four of us agreed that would happen. Now, I know there's a deadline for the 21st round, and if you listen to us every time that you apply, I would suggest that we wait until the next round and get it right, get public input, get the actual quotes, get actual bids, and not have this false.
I believe there is public input. There was a survey that was done, so there's public input there. People filled out volunteer hours, there's
There
public
was a
input there.
non-scientific survey that was done in 2007 for the comprehensive plan, and it's not legally binding, and frankly, it was very flawed. I looked at all the details beyond just,
And you were the one that made that survey, Jeff.
I believe.
it
You were
wasn't,
the one that wrote that survey and
that's,
sent
that's
it out.
not completely accurate, but it was non-scientific,
Damn close to being accurate.
and
That's
it's
exactly
also
right.
outdated. I looked at the raw data on it, so I know that it wasn't accurate. but it's not even really relevant to what's happening here to say that that's what our community wants.
If
He
he doesn't
doesn't
want
even
to
have
vote,
to
that's
see it
fine.
there.
There's second his amendment.
Ben,
Are you voting yes?
I think
voted
she's,
yes.
Ben, I think she's worked hard, but I think that some of that paperwork should be refined. And I do think that you should have a separate meeting and go over these things so that the people know what's going on.
We've already had a second meeting on it. We've had several meetings discussing this.
Well, here's number 5. This is a blatant lie. It says under 5 in planning, it's probably in the updated narrative. The Brownsville Park is the only park in Bowling Green Township. The park is managed by the township trustees and an appointed volunteer group. Friends of Bowling Green Township committee members. Friends also organize park cleanups and repair activities. There is no group or
Wait, say
committee.
that again, the park, say that again, read that again.
Haven't you been privy to
No,
this?
I didn't hear what you said, I just want you to read it again, because I don't believe what I just heard.
Can we have the board read the entire, I would suggest that
Just
we
that
read the
one
whole
piece.
thing.
Just that clause, read that clause again, please.
Planning, number 5. Now, this falls under the narrative that's going to, what we submit is supposed to be true. The Brownsville Park is, and we don't have a Brownsville Park either. That's the Bowling Green Township Community Park. That is not the Brownsville Park.
That's right.
It's a minor mistake here, but it's full of them. See my highlights? I'm prepared to discuss it, go over it. I want the grant to be successful, but I don't want it to be based on lies.
Correct.
It says, the park is managed by the township trustees and an appointed volunteer group. Friends of Bowling Green Township committee members. Friends also organize.
You'll
That's
notice
lie,
there's a-
that's lie.
You'll
That's a
notice there's
lie.
a comma in there, Jeff. You know what that means? That means it's a separate thing when there's a
And
comma.
were you there?
There's
No.
a comma.
Hey,
You were-
hey!
That's enough.
We're not yelling.
Now, this drinking fountain,
She's calling herself a friend, she wasn't there.
when you were talking about a fountain, at first I thought you wanted a pretty fountain. You want a drinking fountain such that children and families can have water while using the park. Keeping active children hydrated is important, has health consequences. So, with that one particular item, Dan, I know you took that, you had moved that I was gonna put this water softener in, and then all kinds of stupid stuff went down there. So what were the results of the testing of the water? Before we say we're gonna install a water fountain for children to hydrate themselves, what are the results of our test of our water?
Then you haven't tested?
You know, tested.
I thought you were in charge of having that tested.
So you didn't do a test of any kind?
I thought you were in charge of having that tested, Jeff. Did you have it tested?
The pertinence here is, we're applying for a grant, do you really want to go there? What are our requirements if we start putting something out for the public to consume? See, all these things really need discussed.
Do you know where that water's coming from? It's coming from the same water everybody in town
We're having
drinks.
this kind of thing. It's about being professional and
Yes,
right,
absolutely.
safely.
Benji, you're wrong.
I'm wrong.
We're in 250 to 400 feet of water.
Okay.
That is 47 feet deep.
Okay, I can take you right up here and I can show you houses that are 40, 50, 60, 70 feet deep.
Surface water.
I can show you all kinds of houses in this village that are like
The
that.
big engine water is down there in
Yeah.
the river.
I'm not disputing that.
I agree with
You
Jeff
just
on
said that. Everybody drinks it.
Sure.
You don't.
Which way's water flow, uphill or downhill?
It flows on the level.
Water flow uphill or downhill? It flows downhill. So this surface water goes to your well.
No, it's down.
Are you
the
serious?
engine. Yeah, it's down the engine.
We did talk to the health department.
That's right.
Do you have a report from the health department?
We're gonna get some names referenced on the final thing.
The second place, you put restrooms out here, then they're portable ones. Dillon Norm's closing because of queers.
You're saying we put restrooms in.
Well, you talked about it.
Is there restrooms in any of
I
this?
don't know, they want restrooms.
They haven't heard it, how would they know it's in?
They don't know.
They should.
So
That's
they
my
should be.
point.
We don't know nothing. Patty and your mother sat over here running her mouth
You're wrong.
for 2 or 3 days. No, I'm not.
You're
I
wrong.
think-
Let me tell you the facts, okay? And I'm not patting myself on the back, but they have spent hundreds of hours working on this grant. Hundreds of hours working on this
Are
grant.
these hours?
I'm telling you that
Are
they
these
have.
hours counted in this?
No,
Can you do that?
because I've also spent tons
Do
of
you
hours
have
doing
to
this.
document those hundreds of hours? I had asked if you had meeting minutes before.
It is. We're trying to get something good for the township that should be free.
If you were gonna do it right.
Yeah,
What they're doing
everything's
is
us.
wrong. Say they came about.
And I'm not
it
saying this to
wrong.
be mean against anybody in here. Did you offer to help with the grant?
No.
Did you?
Because they
Did you?
screwed
No,
it.
that what you guys are upset about? Because there's a group that somebody called?
No,
That's the whole thing
Because
she's
she's
lying
lying
about, cause she went and done this stuff. It's just like the stupid spaghetti thing.
This is
Look over there.
Stupid spreadsheet. What's the matter?
It's nothing.
We're friends.
This
I have
is-
something to say.
this
You know, you read the Facebook, then you find out everything about Jeff. Because
But they
that's how
but they
crazy they
deleted it
are.
all.
She just lied.
Talk to Mike, Tori.
Talk to Mike Vermillion about that.
No, you're posting it.
Oh, no, I'm not. Mike Vermillion is, and you can go right to
Hey, that's enough.
There's 5 of us
You,
that post on it.
Mike backed out.
This is enough.
Mike backed out, you know it.
That's enough.
Hold on, we have a question. Go ahead.
I have a question, I have a comment.
Sure.
In August and September of 2013, I was called by Mrs. Gardner to be a part of a group. I attended every meeting. I helped with the Easter egg hunt. I helped with the chili cook-off. I helped with the spaghetti dinner. Suddenly, after the spaghetti dinner, I was no longer included in the group. When we went to have the cookout, everything that was down there was gone. The money was gone, the paper products was gone, the spaghetti and everything that was donated by Olive Garden was gone. It's all gone. The money that was raised by the group as a whole is gone. I don't know who has it or what, but it was supposed to be used for consecutive social events for the entire Bowling Green Township. 2 people did not have the authority nor the backup to take that stuff or to spend the
I
money.
have
however they
documents
wanted.
proving who took it. Patty Boland sent me emails which I saved. She took it because she said, we are not friends. She split
But-
this thing
Well,
off.
let me say this, and this is gonna end it,
It has
okay?
nothing to do with
That group, this group, neither of these groups are affiliated with
And
the
she needs to
township.
quit saying friends.
Neither of them are affiliated with the township. Until they are, this board will not resolve any problems between those groups.
They need to quit putting friends on there.
Well, it appears to me that both of these groups are using our township
There was
facilities.
only one
And
group.
they're, I
How about
find
that?
There's
that,
one group.
Our group is not
There's
using,
still one group.
our group is not using township facilities.
there was a
We're-
meeting last night, which one
That
of you
was
were?
not our group.
It was residents.
Our
It
meeting.
It was the residents
Yeah.
who were stepping up on the spaghetti dinner.
No, we
They're
are
the
not.
ones that stepped down and took everything.
The only thing that this board agreed to do by a resolution were some initial meetings they had last year.
Yep.
And then we agreed that one day a month for 2014, that they could have their meetings.
And we
They
are.
also agreed cordially, if anyone else ever actually wanted to rent it, that they would meet over here.
That's
Yeah.
exactly.
Now, there have been other events and different things, they don't even show up on the calendar. And everyone, I guess, that calls
There's
themselves a
no, every
friend,
event.
gets
that-
it free, calls it community, and they're all the original friends.
No.
But we don't have any friends here, from what I can hear.
Jeff, the events that we had were put on that calendar, every one of them. The 2 that were announced were not put on, and they never even took place, but they were put out there for everybody to hear. Those 2 events never occurred, and we did not put it on there.
They were promised to never happen.
Everything that we have done has been put in that calendar.
There was only one group until they split it up. There was only ever one.
And there's still one
And we
group.
all worked
To be honest,
together until they
it's
decided
just
they didn't
residents.
want to have any of the rest of us to be.
So for several
For
months,
whatever
you were friends several months, and you did meet on that one
Yes.
day, on that Monday
As soon as
evening,
that, yep,
the last Monday of the month.
and never saw them again. We go up there and they grill out, and everything is gone that day. Their intention was to screw the community.
Well, I know that there's 2 cabinets over there that have padlocks on them, and
That's right.
I don't know who has padlocks or what's in there. Did you
One
check
of
in
them
there?
There's 2 keys,
Citizens.
Okay.
and there's 2 keys now, and
Okay, I know
2
years
people
ago
have
they
it.
did that, and they kept things in there.
This
We had-
senior citizens keep their things in there,
Okay.
they keep them locked.
Okay.
And the other one the residents have.
But these
but we
missing
already-
items aren't just secured somewhere?
Oh, they're secured at her house. She took and opened it up because the key was left there.
I can
She took
assure you,
everything
I
out of
have
it.
nothing at my house.
Well, you got it in the email saying you took it, baby.
You know you don't.
Oh, yes, I
Nothing to do
did.
with
So,
I will bring it to you
I
in
said
writing.
it's taken,
Hey.
my friends, I did not.
You
say
took
that.
it.
I did not.
This
You
is,
took it.
this
I
is
did not.
enough.
You took it. You're a thief.
I'll take it.
Hey!
I'll take the lie detector.
Hey!
I did not.
Come on, we're gonna move on.
Well, we're supposed to, Mr. President, we're supposed to be discussing this grant that was moved and seconded. There's another date here.
We've
She
moved
says
on.
that-
It's already done, Joe. They passed, they voted.
When did you,
You were off in La La Land somewhere.
I wasn't, wait a minute. During this public
We're now discussing the
conversation,
votes.
wait a minute, back up. I want to hear, read back to what you just did, please.
Passed a resolution accepting, we passed a motion accepting the resolution, Ben accepted the resolution, Dan seconded it, and then Dan and Ben voted yes.
You had made a motion to amend it. There was no second to
was
it,
no
so we took
second
a
to
roll
that
call
motion.
vote.
Well, what is all this interaction, Dan? You're the president. Did you open it up for this?
No.
Because you kept having a meeting while this was happening and right next to me, and I wasn't even permitted to vote? Come on.
Are you serious?
What about this?
Jeff,
It
I
says
asked
you
to
to
fully
several
comply with
times.
insurance company recommendations. Really? Where's the insurance recommendations that were on the wall from the last grant? Where we
Jeff.
could have saved money on liability and made the park safer. Are
Hey.
you referencing that?
Would you
Comply
like
with
to vote?
insurance company
No, we've already
recommendations?
moved on. He voted, I don't know what he
You
voted. He's
moved
out in left
on,
field.
and there's many things to discuss. Talks about ADA signage, you talk about signage that's damaged, which is not damaged. You want to have signs that are in Spanish and also English. We need to, I understand why you want to do that. It has to do with getting points. We need to study this to get it right, to be successful.
You have a separate meeting.
But if you've already, I guess they already had a meeting on their own.
Vote to do it.
There was no meeting on our own. It was discussed at this table, Jeffrey, okay? You had your opportunity.
I did not have
to
an
vote.
opportunity. The
Yes, you
record needs
did.
to reflect that I did not.
Yes, you need to watch your video camera when you go home. Because
I don't,
Mrs.
I'm
DePaul asked
experiencing it live.
she
I don't
asked you
need
at
to
least
look at it.
twice for your vote.
We brought it up
Said no.
at the last regular meeting and we brought it up at the special meeting.
Well, if
This
it
is
was
the
brought
third time
up,
it's been
Ben,
brought up.
did Jenny have it in her minutes?
Yes.
Was it in the minutes of Jenny?
They even had a special meeting for
We
this.
have moved on.
Was it in the minutes?
They advertised a special meeting.
It says here
Was
that
it
drinking
in the
fountain is
minutes?
discussed extensively at many meetings. I haven't missed meetings. Where was this fountain discussed at many meetings?
Does it say what kind of meeting?
Talks about mold in the mulch. Do you have a source for that? It's going to be applied to, you're just saying these things, do you have factual documentation?
Go out there and look at it. Have you ever walked out
That's
and
not
looked
what
at
I'm
the
asking.
park?
That's not what I'm asking.
That's what I'm telling you. Go look at
I'm
it.
asking for source material that talks about mulch and it having to do with children with asthma. Your narrative, you have here.
Give it this one, please.
So then I'm going to suggest that you not open it up to public comment. If the three of you are going to conduct a meeting while people are trying to get some public comment about the topic that
I don't think it
obviously
was
they're
him that
concerned
opened it
about.
up to public comment, I think it was you.
Absolutely.
I don't have,
You want to keep it
And we
going,
have
so you
moved
can
on
put it
now.
on YouTube, Jeff, and make everybody try to look back at you.
No.
We already know that's all
everybody
we
here is
want.
responsible for their own actions and how they look
Yeah,
themselves.
that's exactly right.
Everybody,
Jeff.
everybody.
That's exactly right.
Including you.
Sure. Absolutely.
Actually, Dan, there should be quotes and estimates on everything that
We
is
have
with us,
those.
and it should be
We have
attached.
them.
The board
How
is
those
not,
documents,
the board has not gotten them, she says she's
everything
done.
needs to be attached because it's
No,
in
no.
the public record.
Absolutely.
This is the Bowling Green Township Park,
They
and
don't
anything that
attach.
has
I
to do
already
with
talked to
Bowling
them.
Green
All
Township
we do is fill them in.
needs to be
It's
put,
the green-
not only in the
all-
minutes, but there
all
needs to
that's
be
in the green.
documentation. Please let me finish. There needs to be documentation attached to everything that goes out where there's money involved.
From what I understand, Mrs. Boland said that her friends group does not necessarily have meeting minutes. I don't know if any exist at all from any of the groups.
If it's brought into the meeting here, they should be in Jenny's minutes.
No, we don't bring.
There's
our
nothing in the
meetings
minutes
because we're a
about,
private group.
for example, multiple talking about.
Anything that has to do with township monies, everything has to be quoted, has to be accepted by the entire board,
Absolutely.
and everything needs to be attached to anything that's turned in.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that, and you
Yeah,
in front of this board.
absolutely.
And it has. This is the third time we've discussed it at this board.
Is there quotes and estimates attached to those documents? Are there?
No, I haven't seen any.
You don't send them to the nature study
But
works.
the board should be able
The
to.
board should be able to know the quotes because it's the township monies.
There's no monies coming from the township.
We don't know
It's a
that.
grant.
It has a 25% matching fee.
Absolutely.
We're responsible, that's the case.
Absolutely. And there have been enough hours pledged.
Well, I'll make it easy for you. We'll just go ahead and we'll attach this video to the state, and we'll submit that with the application. Or somebody here can pick it up on YouTube, and they can submit it, and then you can ask the state what they think about this. And we'll see how much of a grant we get. Now, I suggest we move on, since you've already voted on it, and it continues.
Great idea, Jeff. I side with Jeff on that idea.
It's not township, why is the township getting the grant?
Just turning one in, we don't even know if we're gonna get a grant.
That has nothing to do with it. You still have responsibilities. You can't just say, I don't know if I'm getting it, so I'm not responsible.
You can't
No,
just submit
I know
something.
we're responsible.
You remember that word responsibility, Jeff, okay? Don't you remember that? You have responsibilities to do in this township, so you remember
Okay,
that.
can we go on to the Lowe's grant?
Yeah.
Is that part of our agenda? That's another thing. This stuff's not even on the agenda.
Sure.
I looked on the
Actually,
website.
it is on the agenda.
That is, it's all under grant.
Grants.
So it's a blanket thing, grants? You
Yeah.
talk anything about grants now, any grant, anything about it?
Talk about a Lowe's grant.
There's insurance.
It does have insurance, I don't.
What does vision insurance have to do with?
Because you might need some, because it says right here, grants. So we're gonna move on.
The township eliminated
Okay, as
vision
you know,
insurance years ago. It's one thing I was very successful in eliminating.
Yeah.
We do not, to answer your
I
question.
need to check.
A gentleman from Lowe's came out and met with Ben after we contacted Lowe's. Lowe's is willing to come in. They're not positive how much of the grant they've told us to ask for $100,000. We have to do nothing. They come in, they will put in a new bathroom, they will put in new windows, drop ceiling, new lights, drywall, new floor, new furnace, new air conditioning, new furnace, air conditioning at the other building, $97,000. We do nothing except apply for it. They've already photographed everything, they've talked to Ben about it. We don't know how much of it we get. We said if we get only a portion of it, we would like a new furnace and air conditioning unit and the windows fixed. We've listed things kind of in order of priority for this building here, yes.
This is something that this one group of friends has done with Ben.
Ben's one
How long
called,
have you
check
been
the
working
Lowe's.
on
They,
this?
they were gonna apply for the grant. A trustee has to be in charge of it.
They being,
Not say in charge of it.
they being,
They have access to the building. Yes, when I meet with them, I absolutely do.
they being Patty Bowl and Edmund Rowe, Leeson Rowe, D. Cryer, and Terry Gardner.
All the people that,
Those are the,
We have additional people now too, yes.
those are the ones that have been working on this
Yes.
thing with Lowe's. It
Yes.
hasn't come to the board until you mentioned it at the last
Yes.
special meeting.
It cost us nothing, we do nothing, we don't have to put out any money, any hours, and nothing. The liability, they hire the contractors, they furnish the material, the trustees go in and pick out the stuff, and they come in and do it.
Get a grant to do the streets also?
We're
We-
looking into
if we
that
find one,
next.
that'd be
Dan asked
great.
us to look into that. But you know, with all the friction that we're getting here, why would I want to put any more time into it, to be honest about it? You know, it's like you spend hours and hours doing this, and this is the thanks you get? How
Where are-
often?
where are we
I mean, this
here, Mr.
$100,000, we don't have to do anything.
Patty, how
Yes.
often does Lowe's do this?
The deadline on this is August 29th.
Do they do it every year?
It's out there all the time. No one's ever applied for it before. That's why the guy at North, at the heat store, they're like, no one's applied for it, go for the whole $100,000.
You should.
So that's what we're
We
applying
should.
for. $97,000. They came out, they took the photos. Here's the estimates for everything that they're going to do for us.
I think it's great.
I mean, it's to redo this entire building.
Yeah, I think it's great that you was on top of that.
You know, we need a new cinder tip. Our third grant we're proposing tonight is $10,000 to get a new cinder tip. You know, if we're gonna meet this kind of friction, I have other things to do.
Patty, I don't believe that it's the friction and the yelling. I think that what it is things need to be specified when things are turned in. Quotes, estimates, everything needs to be attached. They need to be given so all the board members And all the people who are the trustees, even Jenny, I mean, she's our secretary.
Yeah.
She needs a copy of all this, and everything needs to be presented.
And we
And
have
this-
copies
this-
for everything.
And Patty, this needs to also be brought to the attention of anyone who attends these meetings.
Absolutely.
And not only that, but it's Jenny's responsibility that these things should be put in the minutes. Every time there's a meeting in this town, every month, those things should be inserted
Well, I'll tell you,
into
now, just
the
like,
minutes.
well, let me tell you, the Lowe's grant, we had less than 30 days to get this Lowe's grant together before the deadline. That meant contact the
Yeah.
manager, and they had to come out, photograph everything, look at everything. We had less than 30 days. That's why we brought it up at the last meeting. You know, sometimes we find a grant, and we've missed grants because we've already missed the deadline on them. Since the trustees meet once a month.
See, Patty, under where we have this in our meeting agenda, where it says grants, we should have those things listed so that people attend these meetings know exactly what we're talking about, instead of just throwing it in their face.
But except that sometimes, like
I
I
mean, get
said,
it in the minutes so we know.
but if I would find a grant like last week and I could knock it out in time to get here
Right.
tonight, that doesn't mean I necessarily have time to contact Jimmy and say,
It's not a matter of whether you contact her or not, it's whether things in quotes are presented to the board and presented in a way that they can be put in the minutes after we have a meeting.
well, and see, that's what we're doing here tonight. Like, we have everything with the Lowe's grant. It's just, you know, we're
I think
presenting.
I have, are we
think it's a
talking
good
about this
idea on
Lowe's
the
grant
Lowe's
now? Can I
grant.
see some things, please?
I think it's good that you caught that. I think it's real good that you
Is
caught
this
that.
all you have on the Lowe's grant?
Basically, yes, they send us that, we have to attach that with the grant application. That grant is one that has to be submitted online.
But the nature work grant, they didn't release it right away. What
No.
that is behind.
Well, that's the-
That was round 21, 22 is the next one up.
That's
That's
the
what we
thing, Dan,
should
usually
should
this is
shop
done
for.
like in March.
Uh-huh.
They didn't, the state didn't get funding, and so they didn't release it till July. So we had a very short window.
I think the board should have had some input on this. I mean, I guess they met with the band, they walked around and decided what they were going to pick and choose to put in here.
So what
Well, I
would you
think
do,
that
Jeff?
was probably up to Lowe's. That's the manager of Lowe's deciding what they're going to
Well, I
cover,
don't think the
what they're
manager of
going
Lowe's
to
should
do.
be making the, I mean, this board should have been privy to these meetings here with Van going around with. I mean, it's all about input, and we are a board, it's our job.
I
We're supposed to,
think
we're
all the
supposed to be
townships should have
informed and
been
have
involved in
that.
that.
Lowe's took pictures
Everybody
of
should have
it.
been.
Yes.
I want to see it successful. I want to see it detailed out and done properly, the best we can do. That's my stance on it. I am a very successful grant writer. I have a history on that. That's one reason.
Hey, I have a
people
question
put
for
me
you
here.
then. Why haven't you wrote any grants for this board, Jeff? Why haven't you tried? You're very successful at doing this.
You're demonstrating. a
No,
perfect
I'm asking you a
example right
question. When have you wrote a successful grant for this board? When have you tried?
now. I have
You
been very
got a grant for
successful.
a roundup that we said don't take the merry-go-round.
Have writing a grant for this board?
I was the project manager for a road grant that was successful in Dogwood Lake.
You didn't write it.
That's a
Did you-
perfect
You
What
example.
didn't write it.
did you do to write that?
You didn't write
grant?
any of it.
What part of that did you take care of?
Well, it's kind of important to work out the details, isn't it?
And, okay, which
And
details did
yeah,
you
you
work
applied
out?
over the years when I was, are you gonna let me talk, or you
Yeah,
just
go
wanna
ahead.
keep at me?
No, go
You
ahead.
Okay.
tabulate everything you want.
I was the project manager. I did my job initially, and then what happened when we were successful getting it? You laughed because you thought, oh, he'll be the project manager. We got it, didn't we? And then what happened? You put me completely out of it. The paperwork comes, and I can't even sign it because I don't know where you went and patched and did different things. So I moved in motion so that your preferred vendor, the single bid guy, got paid.
You didn't have anything. to
Now,
do
the
with
details on that, we would not have gotten.
And when we got
That's
that
why-
grant, we didn't,
Stop it.
no, we didn't patch and do this. We
Well, I
actually
was-
paid, okay?
See, here
If-
we
if-
go.
If you had any idea what you were talking about, you would know.
The details on, we would not have gotten that grant without working out the details.
You
I
did
worked
not
out with the
do-
county commission, the county engineering
Nothing
office
on that grant.
of the point system,
Nothing.
what we needed to do to make sure that happened. I put many hours on that. Guess what? It was successful. At the end of the day, you can say you're the project manager, because I made sure they got paid. Because I, as project manager, was supposed to sign off on it. Well, what happened? You and your buddies, you decided when you were gonna schedule it, where you were gonna go, and what you were gonna do.
Actually,
There were places patched and things that weren't even specified on it.
Let's just talk about the.
Wait, I want to
They asked about grants.
I want to have one
Yes,
thing
on
to
a
this.
successful grant.
This is the grant that we got for issue 2, right? Where you wouldn't sign the check to send the smalls, it was like 50 grand.
I just explained the
Is
reason
that right?
why.
Yeah, and he didn't do anything on.
You wouldn't even sign the check to send to the vendor that did the work.
Well,
Jeff,
And
your signature is not on that check.
here, hold
There were no
me.
attachments.
the facts on this whole
There were
thing.
no
Here's the
attachments.
facts
Any
on
quotes
that.
on any of those?
Jenny wrote that out,
Thank you.
and
I turned it in,
she turned it in
and Jeff
and
had
forgot
nothing to
to
do
take
with it.
Somerset off, because we Dogwood, chose not to do Dogwood and put Somerset in. So Jenny made the mistake, didn't take Somerset off, it was left on, and we got the grant. So Jeff goes into the engineer's office.
Were you there?
They told me you went in and
I spoke with them over the
complaining
phone.
about
No.
taking Dogwood off because we
I
made
spoke
a
with them
motion
over
to
the
take it
phone. I
off.
didn't go in. I detailed all the things out, and as it turned out, we ended up being able to get both of them on there.
Well,
And
this
it
is all
was
past,
successful.
this is all past history. We need
Well,
to drop this.
no.
Patty has a thing there
Let's
for
get this
grant.
Lowe's grant taken care of.
And I think that we need to go forward and
And
this needs to
let's
stop.
just move on.
Okay, well, it appears to me that this Lowe's grant is something that's reoccurring, and you keep coming up with these kind of arbitrary deadlines.
Well,
What's arbitrary about it?
It's once a year, September.
this thing here won't cost us anything, so I make a motion to accept the Lowe's grant.
What does that entail, accepting the Lowe's grant?
What their Lowe's gonna do,
To submit.
submit this grant.
Is there a
Do
second?
you have the detail sheet of the requirements? Because obviously,
Yes. Second.
where is that? It's not, you know, what are the requirements? What is Lowe's asking from us? Do we have to put a big Lowe's banner out there and say Lowe's? Well, I want to see the details, or they
Well,
just say
actually,
clauses?
Lowe's asked us what we would do if they came in and do this. And yeah, I actually said we would put a banner out front that said, thank you Lowe's.
Well, great, where is it?
$97,000.
Where is it? That's
Yeah, we
part
will.
of the deal. Where is it?
Yeah.
Does it exist?
What do you want?
I have Lowe's budget. I want to see the directions, the grant information.
She said the grant's online, she has to fill it out online.
Okay, great.
So it's online.
Here's the screenshots of it, Jeff. Brent.
That's all right.
These are the screenshots of the
Grant.
requirements.
What we have to fill out.
What are all, is this what you're planning on typing in there when you fill it online?
It's notes.
I can, does anybody want to hear what's on the Lowe's grant? I can read it. What Lowe's suggested that we apply for.
I think they should.
Sure, when the people came out, when those two gentlemen that came out, one from Lowe's and one was a contractor, and they asked me, they said, what would you guys like to apply for? And I said, we've never done this. I said, you tell me what we should apply for. The guy said, I would apply for everything. I apply for as much as you can, go for the whole amount. So we went around, he said, new lights, new drywall, new bathroom, new entry doors, new windows, new furnace and AC, the whole list.
I think then what's in question is the fact that all of the members were involved in that. It shouldn't have just been you alone. It should have been everybody.
I can't call Danny and
involved.
ask him to come down here because we didn't have a meeting. I can't call Jeff and ask him to come down
We
here.
can't have, all three of us can't be down here, because that'd be a meeting.
Well,
That's not the
if that would be a
there are
meeting.
there are ways to legally accomplish
We
that.
didn't look at that. We didn't have that day. That was considered-
Would you like to hear what the grant's gonna apply for?
Patty's already explained most of it.
See, a lot of this,
I
Patty,
think she done
it's
did
a
a good
drop
job,
down
and I
menu,
think
so
she
you
should
can't
apply for it.
read it from here, but this isn't even what I was asking for. I wanted
What
to
are
know.
they expecting from us? Is
Right,
that
what,
what you're saying?
yeah, what are the
Yes,
qualifications?
it's just a-
Obviously, Lowe's has a grant,
There was
what's it
a question
about?
on
How
that
does it
day.
work? That's what I want to read.
Right there is everything that's on the line, that is everything we have to fill out. They want nothing from us.
Where
They
does it
have
say
money
that?
that they have to give away.
Where does it talk about your banner?
It says in
This is
there,
a-
what will you, how will you recognize or something if you get this grant?
Here's a
I
question.
said that we would call the TV stations, the newspaper, we'll invite politicians, we'll have an open house, and we'll put a banner out front.
Are you opposed to putting a banner up
You
for
said that, and it's in
$100,000?
this narrative somewhere, it's in these drop-down menus somewhere?
I think a nice ad in the newspaper would be good.
Absolutely, you know.
Letter to the editor, thanking
Yes,
Lowe's.
absolutely.
You know,
So
I
where
mean,
is
they're
that?
gonna do $97,000 worth of work and we do
Well,
nothing.
you know what we're doing.
Well, that's the whole thing, but I mean, they're willing
Even if
to
it's,
tell us to
even
apply
if it's
that.
$10,000.
That's exactly right.
You know,
If we get a
There
new
should be
place,
something
saying, you owe us nothing, nothing to be paid back, this is free, we want nothing, there should be a paper saying that.
There was a question on there that asked, what would we do in return, you know? Would we put, it didn't say, would we put a banner up? Would we put a banner up? Heck, yes, we would, you know? Would we write a letter to the newspaper? Absolutely.
Where's it talking about?
Why wouldn't?
That's not the right answer.
I don't see it.
That's-
I mean, that's
that's
just
not the right
one
answer.
small detail, I want to see it all.
What I'm saying is,
that
this
is
is
the entire.
free, nothing has to be paid back to that, and right?
No, it's 100% free.
But where does it say that?
The grant, there's no cost share, there's nothing
Would
for
the
cost
Lowe's
share.
donate paint for the house over there that Jeff, you painted?
You'd have to ask the neighbors, how many neighbors here.
What is that, what is,
Well, I mean, did Lowe's or somebody donate paint for when you painted the
I
park?
think a lot of people donated on that project, it was a lot of people came together to do that. What's that got to do with this
Don't have a thing to do
Now, what
with
was,
this.
there's no Lowe's grant involved with that, that was not a township
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely, we've had discussion.
We have a second, or we have a motion and a second. We want to do roll
Yeah, hold
call.
on, are you paying attention? We're taking a vote.
Now, wait, so you're taking a vote on something that isn't even in front of us. It's on Patty's computer, there's drop-down menus.
Is it gonna hurt us any? Is it gonna hurt anything? Is it?
Is it gonna hurt us, huh? Fixing the building up and help us? It helped the township.
Is it gonna hurt anything, what, to apply for something we don't have no information on?
Is it gonna hurt us to apply for this grant?
That will cost the township absolutely.
Is it gonna hurt?
I don't know. Patty says that other grant, every time you apply, you
talking
get
about
less and
this
less. I don't know, because the details aren't there. Is it
Okay,
gonna hurt
Dan
us?
made a motion to
If we
submit the
wait and we get input and we go over the details, we get quotes,
I said yes.
is that gonna hurt us?
Ben seconded the motion. Your vote is
Yes.
Ben,
Yes,
Jeff.
absolutely, again.
Are
There's
you
not
voting
enough
on the
information
motion?
to vote.
So are you abstaining or what? No?
How can you vote on something that you don't have all the information on?
Okay, let's move on. The next one's for a grant for the cinder bin.
Did you have something
Where
else?
did this come
Or is
from?
it?
Did you
just
do,
come-
I'm sorry, did you do the?
Yeah, we,
So we can submit that.
So what is this, number 3 about a mystery grant for the
Okay.
That's the third one.
huh?
No questions and answers?
It's
Well, we're
operation,
not, yeah.
Is it about that?
Sort of, yes.
it's the energy co-op grant. They will give $10,000 towards the township. We need two
It doesn't have to be
estimates.
for the cinder bidding, we can ask for not anything, but.
Well, yeah, they want to know what you're going to do with the money, should they give it to you? So we did specify.
This is an Operation Roundup grant?
Yes. They will give up to $10,000.
Maybe you can call Margie on this.
You need two estimates that we need to send with
I didn't
this.
hear you.
Oh,
So we need two estimates to send with us.
What is that do?
September 15th or something. It's 10 days before October
We
2nd.
don't have that.
No, we're working on estimates right now. But everything else we're,
Patty, what's the rent for here? So that we can hear you.
it's an operation roundup, grant for energy co-op. It's a maximum of $10,000.
What's that for?
is for anything for the township. And we're asking for the senator to they will pay $10,000 a head. And you have a thing at the bottom that says that the need is great enough and the board decides they can fund the entire thing. So we've kind of put in there how our township's small, no tax base, because.
What are we doing, Dan?
See, they need to be.
Just-
And stuff to try that and show them.
Give me a second.
But see, we really wouldn't have enough to go to Cincinnati.
What's that?
We wouldn't have enough to go to Cincinnati anyway, even if it get $10,000, would it?
I got one verbal I got in there that way. That was months ago, but the guy said do around 13.5.
13.5,
For the day.
just an estimate.
It's a verbal estimate. But I mean, if they I'll do some written estimates. You know, my opinion is, that's low, say that was low estimate, and it was gonna cost us 15. You know, if we were gonna get 10, we were gonna get 2/3 of it. I'm sure we could find any best ever if we want the money to do something. If we could get 10,000, if they said, well, we get 1,000, then
Yeah, if it,
Oh, and I should say, there's an asterisk at the bottom that says, if the need is great enough and the board approves, they can fund the entire thing, but we're not counting on that.
Right.
That's, it says maximum $10,000, that's what we're asking for, but we're putting in parentheses the entire cost, and you have to attach two estimates.
Well, we've gotten that grant twice successfully, and both times they come back with, or when we've been awarded it, it's never been 100%. The last time we had to pay shipping and some volunteer assist labor that it was all included when it was sent in. But they decided that they were going to award a certain part of that. So the township has to decide at that point if it's awarded, if they want to accept it or not.
That's exactly
Because
right.
you
They
are
can turn it
committing at
down.
that point funds to go into potholes, possibly. If it's in the last piece, you know, the park committee, it's the park committee project. But if something this big, the funds have to come from somewhere. You know, like on this other grant, 25% of $10,000 of thousands of dollars is a substantial amount of money.
do you see these? These add up to that 25%.
And I understand that in-kind can be used, but it can't be used for everything. The Operation Roundup grant doesn't always work that way. If you've got a hard cost, and they say that they're not going to pay for shipping and handling, unless you find someone to make the time to go to a factory and pick it up or whatever, then you can't always get the in-kind to work that way.
the incline worked when we put the playground in.
For the nature work grant, absolutely. You haven't moved forward very far with this one.
Oh, yeah, we actually have that one just about finished. I think you have a copy of
And you say we have it finished, is that your group again?
this.
Now, this is the package from the last ODNR one, right? Any of the specifications changed, Patty, on the Operation Roundup grant since the other two that we've gotten? What are the differences now?
I don't really remember, John. We've gone over the pages so many times that I don't remember. Yeah.
Did you use this at all as a guide? Mr. Pitcher did an excellent job on this.
She has a copy of that. I give her a copy.
I'm assuming these pictures, you know, even that one, you should just have some pictures. Assuming you're gonna put together something like this, that they actually see it's not just this, I think. What I'm looking for is a follow-up. I know in the Operation Roundup grant, but almost every grant, especially since when the state, when it's tax money, you follow through, you have to show proof of things, you have to sign off on things. And that's what I kind of wanted to see out of this one, and I don't see it in here. Oh, this is it. This is,
Maybe that was, you know, it's just a detail.
you have in-kind forms in there like this one? For this, have you already done in-kind for this Operation Roundup?
That's what these are.
For Operation Roundup grant? I thought that was the
Oh,
other
sorry.
grant.
Is that Operation Roundup?
No, that's Nature Works.
Okay,
We're talking about in-kind is what we're talking about.
Yeah, but you're
For
talking.
what?
you're looking at Nature Works grant book and asking me questions about Operation Roundup. How am I supposed to know what you're saying, Joe?
Well, I think
Good
I'm
Lord,
doing a pretty
can we
good job
talk,
here from
can we
this.
talk about Operation Roundup
Yes.
and not Nature
I'm
Works?
talking about the in-kind portion of the grant for Operation Roundup. What elements do you have in
They asked
Operation
for it.
They
Roundup?
didn't ask for
So you
it.
didn't include any. Because it is helpful even if they don't ask for it. That's partly how we were successful the other two times. Where are we, Dan?
Well, the township building there.
What are we doing, Dan?
All right, we've done the grant.
Let's go back to
I'm
that.
just thinking how we're gonna go the other way.
Okay, we're still working on that one. Questions on the one grant?
What is it you're asking the board for this tax?
Just if they want to apply for the $10,000. No, in fact, that's what we were just looking for, and Jeff didn't mention it when he filled out the last Operation Roundup grant either.
What didn't I mention? You haven't talked about it.
About volunteer hours, he didn't mention anything in the operation. We have a copy of that one also. Jenny is
There's a lot
very,
of things addressed in that.
I do
narrative.
want to thank you, Jenny, for fulfilling our records requests.
There are a lot of things in that narrative, including kind, including donations and things. Those are also in kind. Like I said, it's not a requirement for that. It is a good thing to add to it because it does show that the community is interested and involved and together on something. Operation Roundup grant is one of those grants that tries to help fill in those areas that are difficult to get through other
Very
means. So that's one reason that having those kind of things in there is beneficial. And this would be the third time that we went to that well, so then you need to.
What was the first time?
The first time was, Mitchell wrote a grant for the township. Township never did follow through with a portion of it because they had written the grant, with all the fencing, and in that case, Operation Roundup grant came back.
Well, and
and
actually,
said that they would
I was
run
told by a
part
board
of it,
member,
and they did around the basketball court. That was through the Operation Roundup.
I was told by a board member that we can apply every year, however, they do like you to apply 2 to 3 years and then take a year off before you apply again.
But it's been a few years on that.
That's exactly why we were.
But this is our third one. It was 2011, I believe,
That's
with the last one.
The last one was-
I'm not opposed to it, but what is, you know, I do have a lot of experience with grants, and I don't care what you say or think about it. The fact of the matter is,
But you could
You
put some of
wanna
that
go
time,
through the
you could put some of that
details
time that you
to
have
be
to use,
successful.
Jeff. You could take a responsibility you have to really put them to use for the township, it's just a suggestion to you.
I'm
You
not.
really help this
I'm not
township.
even talking to you about whatever you're doing.
That last bit, the last bit we got from the operation.
What my point is, you don't
Jeff.
just ask for money. You don't say, we're here, we want money. You say Operation Roundup, you know, I'd like to read your narrative. I mean, maybe you did a great job, I don't know. Where is it?
The last one we got from Operation Roundup was where Jeff coached Barb Wiseman and
Do you
signed
have
off
that?
on Hurricane Center.
Mrs. Bullen, do you have that? Grant filled out? Are you just saying you want us to apply for $10,000?
Yes,
For what? What's
Cinder.
the
That's
Cinder
Cinder
Temple. The Cinder Temple.
Cinder Tip?
Do you know where the Cinder Bin is in the township?
Cinder Bend, you're saying?
Cinder Temple, do you know where the Cinder Bin is in the township? No?
So you, at this point, you don't have it written up, you just want us to do it, or what? Where are we on your efforts?
Again, Jeff, it's one line.
Really, it doesn't, that's not even job description.
Here's what we're applying for, Cinder to, should I change it to Cinder Building? Cinder Building. I put down how hard it was for
Can I
the
see that?
workers to get a front end loader in there.
You don't have any idea.
Do you have
It's
in
just
kind,
too low.
do you have in kind information in there about what the township's
It doesn't
assets
ask,
and our?
it doesn't ask for any of
I
that.
know it doesn't ask for it because I've applied
And you
for it.
did not put it in when you applied for hurricanes.
It's been the narrative, it can very much be there. Can I see it? Or do we have to vote on this tonight? What are our deadlines? Do you want to meet this round coming up or what?
Deadline is 10 days, they have to have it in their office 10 days before October 7th. We would like to have it submitted by September 15th. I'm gonna stop and get an estimate. I need the size.
Have you talked to anyone at the operation around it?
I talked to someone who was a board member.
This one references photos as well. What photos are you? This,
That's,
In case you weren't aware, here's the Senate bill. So you know what we're talking about.
I think my chair is right here.
You want to see the picture? Yeah.
you're,
Yeah, see
in
it.
the past, that wasn't submitted online. It had to actually be mailed and posted.
Well, you can see that it's one line.
Come back and say, yeah.
I have to attach, I think the audit or something from each one to that. See the little submit box on the form? It's online.
Well, I'd like to see it before you hit this little submit button.
Probably, it's a PDF file and you can't, that's the best you can do because the boxes do not expand to show the volume. And you know that.
If the information.
Download your PDF to a Word document.
Right, you
You
paste
can
it
save
out.
it to a file.
It won't.
Any PDF document should
Okay,
be downloaded.
I probably called it the wrong thing. It's a photo. And it won't let me download it to a Word document. It's,
But you can copy and paste into a Word document.
We'll need to copy and paste.
They're actually a laptop here so they can all see each other. And they can all read.
Some things you can't
It
change.
must be for something.
I forget what it is.
It's not that good.
Yeah. So you can't eyeball them the same way, thanks for that.
What do you think? I mean, just say, hypothetically speaking, that they gave us $10,000 for a Senate bill. It was gonna cost us $15,000. I don't know, I'm just putting it out
I
there.
don't know.
Could we finance the other $5,000?
Who you ask?
Yeah.
This is for next year. I mean, look at money.
I think we get close enough to the end of the year, absolutely.
What's the next go around date? If you don't get this.
Because we, I mean, we ain't gonna
Is
have
it
time.
annually or is it?
Can't do nothing this winter or two, we ain't enough time.
It would have to be like during
It'd have to be next
summer,
summer,
not
next
usually.
summer.
I believe that's more than once a year that it happens.
Because there's no way we can do nothing like that this year.
Right, I agree, and I don't think, does that be in October, you say?
Yeah, well, they won't even look at it till
I
October.
suggest we put it on the agenda, and Patty, if you could please provide that information in some way. But I'm sure you could cut and paste out of that. If it's text, you can cut and paste it out of it.
It won't even be cut and paste. So it's like I have to actually type it in the boxes and scan.
You can take a screenshot of it too. There's,
And the screenshots only show 3 sentences. It doesn't expand the box to show everything that you typed into it. It just shows exactly what you see on the screen.
does
And
it
it's
save
like
this
one
information,
line.
passwords, you can go in later and
get paid. Once you start filling it out, you either submit it or you lose it. I've already lost it once, so.
Well, you're gonna need to type it out or write it out in PDF exactly as it's submitted, or I don't even know why you're submitting it. Suggest maybe that this month should be submitting.
I'd like to make a motion that Jeff apply for a supervisor.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to, but I'm gonna do it right, and everybody in this board's gonna see every detail and be a part of doing that and understand every part of it.
Did that happen during the hurricane center?
It was all very public.
Absolutely not.
Yes, very public.
That's when he coached Barb into signing for the
I
equipment.
don't know, I know what the facts are.
Mr. Duvall, this isn't even relevant, but even though it's not accurate, it's not relevant.
I know once you get the rate, you have a certain period of time to accept.
I don't even know why we have this open thing going on. We could have had this business done an hour ago.
Well, it's fun when it's for you.
Where are we, Mr. President?
Let's see what's going on here.
Are you talking budgeting here or what? Mr. President, let me know when the meeting starts again.
Okay, let's,
What do you want to do on this?
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
No, we have the opportunity to do it. Not several times a year, I don't know. Said it. But. I don't know.
Because I
The
know
worst
we
thing
can't
you
do
can do
nothing
is
this
go
year.
into a grant and say we want money. You need to go in there and say, this is our project, and this is what we're about, and this is what we're gonna do with this, and this is planned out. See,
Let's-
even though Operation Roundup
Let's
Grant's
just
not a
let
big
Jeff
one.
get us a cemetery grant.
You'll make a motion.
I'll make the motion, Jeff get us a cemetery grant.
Did you already go up?
Yeah,
What do you want to do?
yep.
Last second?
Do a roll call, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a first and second, we officially have discussion. I want to know the exact details of what you want me to do and not do. Because you can't leave it open-ended like that.
Yeah, that's,
Makes sense.
I'd like to see it apply for the most money we can get,
Because there's enough.
yeah.
I want to see your motion detailed out completely here. Exactly what you are as a board wanting me to do.
Well, first it would be plowing roads in the winter time. Okay. And then it
The
would be cut trees in the
relevance,
summertime.
the relevance here
Patch potholes.
is the grant for Operation Roundup.
I'll talk about that still.
Now, you can talk about whatever you want, but what's on the table is Dan's changing the motion here. What's it going to say, Dan?
You just, apply for a grant for a cinder bin building. You just have to figure out the size and write it all down in the grant.
Make sure
We
you
got-
bring every T and every dot and everything to this board before you send it in.
We can get
That's
that
why I'm
measured,
asking.
measured for next meeting. What size of a building?
You say, we're going to do that? We're going to do what?
We can get a measurement of what size building.
So you're going to work as the board should, and we're going to work out some details to figure out what size, what the end result is we want to get.
Just go measure that building and make it 10 feet taller.
I don't think it's something that should be done individually. I believe that the president or
No, absolutely not. He's not doing-
somebody needs to be involved in that.
He's gonna
It's
spearhead,
fine.
he's gonna
Let me
spearhead the
finish,
project,
please.
and then he's gonna
Let
come
me
in here and
finish,
propose it
please.
to us.
I think it's great that Jeff would do the grant on that, but I think other members should be involved in this. And you need to work together as a team instead of fighting each other for one thing.
Okay.
And then it'll give Jeff the opportunity to get the grant written up properly
Okay.
and submit it.
Now, when you say work together, are you talking about just on this grant or as a whole?
On everything.
Everything? Okay, then you make sure you direct those words to Mr. Chorpenning.
But everything, you always want to fight everything.
I don't want to fight at all.
And this is things that shouldn't happen. If you work together as a team, look how much more you could get accomplished.
I agree, I do agree.
So, if he's got to go out there and measure things, why can't the president go out there or you and help him measure that?
Because we'd be
From my
considered, we'd be
understanding,
considered
it's
having a
pretty
meeting.
daggone tall. I think it might need 2 or 3 people to go out there and measure that, not just one person.
Because they want him to fail. That's the reason.
No,
I encourage everybody.
I don't want him to fail, I just like.
Well,
to
then
see
go out
that-
and help him. Go out and help
I'll
him.
give you them.
We should all have
That's good.
input,
Yeah,
not just
go
him.
out and help.
No. That would leave some
Suggest we
failures.
move on or do something with that.
Let's move on.
Are we gonna, what are we gonna do with that? Is he gonna apply for a grant?
I-
Because we didn't vote on it.
Let's just move on.
Where are we then, Dan?
Let's move to new business.
Push it through, so it doesn't have to do nothing.
Do you have something you want to say?
Under new business, it says discussion on Friends of Bowling Green Township becoming an official group. How did that get on the agenda?
I don't know.
They were already at that.
That was new business, that's what.
That's what it says there.
That's new business.
I guess, under that one, the first thing we gotta determine is which friends we're talking about.
Are you on the meeting? Are you on the meeting?
I'm assuming we're talking about
Are you running the meeting?
Patty's group.
I don't believe you're running.
Just about the same as you are.
Absolutely not. If we're gonna follow order here, I guess I would have
Mr.
to order
President, please
here.
take order. We're under new business.
Yes, we are.
That was tabled from last meeting.
Okay, when we get it.
That was on the agenda last month,
That was tabled from the last meeting.
so that's why
And
it's
put
on.
on the agenda. That was when Patty brought the mission statement and requested that they became an official group of the township. So you guys decided to table it and I put it on the agenda and I can leave it there for next meeting.
That is tabled. Let's go on to public comment.
I have something.
Wait a minute, you missed some business. There was in the beginning, Jenny mentioned the 2 resolutions that she had. One's called rental agreement, which we don't really need to do anything on, because we already passed it.
Actually, there were some changes made on it also.
There were some requested changes, and then the other one was called the town hall rental resolution. And she mentioned it under correspondence, so I don't know if you want to, doesn't even have to be done tonight.
We can do it next meeting.
How about we put that on the agenda then? I don't think it's on there.
No, that'll be the next, no, next one. The next one.
Can you print out copies of that, because I saw it yesterday. She has sent visions that we never
Did you
requested.
receive the email?
Yeah, basically.
So when you
I need a printout of it.
why?
All I wrote down were the changes that were involved in it. Since we have a whole another month, I'd like to have a printout of it.
You can't read it, talk to it.
I'd like to have it for review for the next meeting, since we have a whole month now. Is it a problem for you to give me a
No,
copy?
it's just a lot of paper, Jeff.
Does he have to
Two-page
pay?
It's
Does he
Two-page
pay?
resolution.
And then
See,
a
I have
6-page rental
Is
agreement.
this the, that's one of
Does
the,
he pay?
There's one of each there.
Does
Can I
he
have
pay
these?
for copy?
Thank you.
No,
So we're on the agenda, Dan, for next month to talk about this. This was, basically, it takes the authority away from the board and fiscal officer and gives it 100% authority to Don Watkins, is what it does.
Board designated person is.
So that'll be on next month's agenda.
Everybody else has to pay for copies, right?
President's meetings.
Did you get copies, Dan, of this?
No. No, thank you.
Is there any other,
Can you make sure Dan has an opportunity to see it since he doesn't get the email either?
Oh, then make sure it gets it.
Okay, we got 1 month on this one. Hope you all prepared next month.
Okay. Public comment? Go.
I wonder what, I wonder why Mrs. Boland is doing all of this work, and when it should be done by the people that were paid to do all this work. Does that make sense?
Did she leave?
Does
But
make
she
sense.
has
She's
no
still here,
authority,
Mrs. Boland.
has no
I
authority.
think she left something here.
She needs to be paid, when she has a tag number, let's say, a something, number, something that makes her have some authority on all this stuff that she's doing, so she can get paid for it.
Patty, are you talking about Patty?
Yes,
She said.
that's a lot of work.
Patty asked volunteer and fill out some grants. So that at this
You
time.
guys are getting paid for it, and you're gonna get the hoorah.
We get paid the same amount no matter what goes on.
Who does? Who gets paid?
We do. We get paid the same amount
That's
each
fine,
month.
that's fine.
Okay,
That's fine.
I know it's in the back of the papers, how much everybody gets paid. Okay, I don't know what you figure hourly anybody is, but let's take a ballpark figure of saying $15 an hour.
No, wait.
Let's say you're $15.
$621 an hour, that's what it is.
Okay, let's say you are $15 an hour, just that position. Okay, so that would be, if you figured it, that would be like 60 hours a month. And if you took, or 60 hours, 60 hours a month, and if you took 4.3 weeks in a month, that figures about 14 hours a week. So do you figure, you do township stuff about 14 hours a week?
Pretty close, yeah.
Patty said she had hundreds of hours in this.
No, she didn't, I said.
Wasn't it well, was it you? Hundreds?
It was me.
I thought I heard it.
Collaborated effort between
But
multiple
nobody-
people,
I-
absolutely.
You messed up my question.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
You did. Why aren't you guys doing it? You four that are getting paid, and maybe you just give you a little advice. I don't think that this person should have to work this Friday.
Like I said, Patty asked if she could volunteer to fill out some grants. Absolutely.
Why did,
Is she getting?
there must be a reason she
Is
wants
she
to
getting
do all this.
compensated for it? Absolutely not.
Why did she want to do all this?
Probably because she's a
Just out
resident of
of
the
kindness of her
township.
heart?
Probably because she's a resident of the township.
Because she likes to know everything that's going on?
She wants to see the township succeed.
I don't know.
But here's the question, are you against it?
Sometimes I think we should rename our road to Bowling Road.
Or are you against somebody showing?
No, I'm not against all
against
that,
it.
but I'm
I just
saying
think that the
sometimes,
township should pay.
No.
sometimes,
Either that or it should be done
Well, I
by
do
one of the
something for
members
the
of the
township,
board.
I get paid.
What's that?
When I do something for the township, I get paid.
Not like me, no.
When I go to trust.
Well, yeah, if you do that, correct, I agree.
I wasn't on the board then, but when the ODNR grant, the $19,000 grant was written, Mr. Pitcher had done a lot of the legwork, most of it on that. And if I recall, I was a resident here and the board presented them some kind of a gift certificate or something, so he was compensated in that manner. But as far as I know, that's the only time anyone's been paid for compensation for any grant writing or assistance, at least in the last several.
You're right, that is correct. He got the board a $20,000, there were several people who got the board a $20,000 grant.
well, so,
And-
So what, I'm trying to answer your question, that's the only time anyone's ever been compensated, it's not a
if you
elected
get
person.
$97,000, then you give her something.
We'll cross that bridge when we come.
Yeah, I'd like to see the building.
Absolutely.
I don't care about the center.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have to work in it like
It
that.
does
A
seem
major
kind of-
project like that is nice to, I mean, we
I
had a
know.
small project like that in the park, and it was very public, and every detail of it, everything on the wall, and blueprints of everything, and if we're doing a major renovation like that, there's also other things to consider. There are Ohio revised codes for building and reconstructing buildings and things, and there's a lot more to it than saying, thank you, Lowe's, it's Christmas, give us 10 grand.
Let's move on.
I'm not much on code myself.
But it is part of the process.
Well, maybe she knows all of it, who knows?
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I do.
Ron does.
Okay.
I like to know, road involved, Sherry Elway. Once again, each month I ask the same question, when does the Jeff Ford thing got to pay back for the playground, Christmas, he took down? Put down, we have to pay, have to be on the taxpayer's money. We are taxpayer by a company, money back here. I like to see Jeff Ford check tonight for the money that he took. Now, you people like to argue about parents' money, like, we're talking $1,400-$1,500 that you spend on local. Now, I don't care what anybody thinks, nothing else, to me, it's your money. You want that spent that way, go, fine, give them some more money to spend. I don't, I want something done. So each month, the last 3 years, or since he done it, I got asked each month, what you guys gonna do? Now, since we can't get the prosecutor attorney, okay, Chris signing this check completely until the prosecutor come up here so we can talk to him. Because if I took $1,400 or more, you know damn sure we'd be in jail.
I don't have $1,400.
Right, you took it from the park, let me tell you, you took it from
No,
the
sir.
whole Green Township.
You
Yes, you did.
You can come in here month after month, year
Well, I
after year, say it over and over. That doesn't make it fact.
Mr. Chorpenning, till you put the money back, I will not shut up.
You can say
better
it
wait
louder,
every
you can
moment.
scream it, you can do
Okay,
it
let's
online.
move on.
It doesn't change any of the facts.
I have something.
Never mess with you. You don't work for a living.
Somebody
You
said,
want the
You
story?
got for the township.
You want the story, go tell it.
I just told you.
I have 2 copies here of documents that were signed. They're for Golden Green Township, and those are yours. That one for Jenny. She put it in the minutes. And I have one for you.
Thank you.
We keep going back to the ditches, Brownsville, and everybody needs to know that there's horse manure and horse urine going through the entire town of Brownsville. And if you don't already know it, I'm sure you can smell it. But it's coming down from the barn. I have pictures here of exactly where it's coming from.
what road is that?
It's on Beach Street, it's not a road, it's a beach street. And it's one street up above me. And as you can see, the water's been running down here ever since the spring, because when Keith Staggert owned the farm before the people now do, Keith Staggert took his bulldozer and closed in the ditch that used to run around across here. I know they call it swells, but it's a ditch, swell, whatever they want to call it. But there used to be a swell that ran down here from that culvert, and it ran down into another culvert, which in turn came down the ditch beside Mr. Luckett's house and my house, and it ran down into Mr. Hedges' creek, and right on down, and it went clear through Luckett's house, and it went clear through, goes clear through the town of Brownsville. Me and the neighbors up above us have seen chunks and blobs of horse manure, horse urine, and it runs down here.
Who has the horses?
Up above us, the farm up above us.
Get a gusher rain
Oh no, it's when it rains, and it comes down here, and you can see Mr. Stiger's closed in the swell that was there. So now all the water runs down there, and it runs across Beach Street. And here it is here, running clear across into Mr. Luckett's yard.
Does he have real green grass? Where it's coming?
As you can
I'm
see, he
not trying to
does.
laugh, I'm just saying you know
No, but
exactly where
as
it's
you
going.
see, he does. But this is how brown it is. And I know that my pictures really aren't that clear. It's the best I can do. I have over 40 pictures of it on my camera. I haven't done them transferred yet to my computer to get them printed. This is how black it is. This is chunks of cow manure that's coming down through that on Beach Street.
Now that was taken at the top of one green.
Yeah, that's on Beach Street. This is the creek. Now, back here, along this property that runs back through here, there's another swell or ditch, whichever you want to call it. But horse manure and horse urine also runs down that ditch, comes down the creek in front of my house. And this is Mr. Hedges' property right here. And I have asked for over 3 years now for this culvert to be replaced, because as everybody can see, here, the culvert is not big enough. I was told that that could be replaced because Mr. Hedges put that in himself. And once the culvert's put in, it doesn't cost the property only one daggone dime. So there's no reason why the township can't go in there and put in a larger culvert. It may take 3 or 4 hours time to do this, and it would take care of what is happening. I can get my pages turned here. That's also another picture. I don't really see it real well.
Is it just like where the horses are running in the field and it's just washing it
Oh,
down
no.
the field?
No,
Or they're putting it
For
there?
some reason, they were told they could build a barn there, but it was never had proper irrigation. So it's on a hill, and whenever it rains, without being properly maintained and cleaned out, all that manure and urine is coming down Beach Street, is coming down on everybody's property below us, and it's going clear through the whole town of
What
Brownsville.
about the health department? Did they ever look at it?
If you'll see in my, I know you can't see it, but it's all through here. I went through up to the governor of the state of Ohio. And they told me to contact the Attorney General and six on your side, but they all told me this is township responsibility, and there's plenty of people in there that I've contacted, and everybody told me this is township responsibility, this is what our taxes go for, and by God, it needs to be cleaned out.
You know
Our
what?
ditches haven't been cleaned out for years, and I think it's awful that we can allow this, and a new ditch needs to be dug up there along Beach Street the way it used to be.
We've been
That
told that
stops
too,
that.
by the sheriff
That
department.
stops that. But what happens is after it goes through Mr. Hedges' property here, it runs clear across into Brandon's property, floods his basement. There's a couple of people that have basements that are flooded. And Brandon's property's been constantly flooded, which he bought off of Ben Hubb. And the road was completely covered. There has been days when I couldn't even get to work because Bowling Green Street was flooded over, and you're not supposed to drive in water that's flooded over a road.
Our creek goes up too.
There's something I want to say when you're done, that Patty's might know about too. Right.
But I've got tons of pictures and on my cell phone. I just got to get the cord to do it, but everybody has told me
I'm not
all the
disputing,
way
I'm not
down.
disputing, I just have a question.
You can take that to Walmart and they can print them all off your phone.
I'm not disputing, I just have a question. I talked to a resident, well, I'll just say it, one of the houses, I spoke to one of the houses, and they told me that you were probably gonna come to me, and I inquired about this, okay? And they said that the health department was contacted, came out to their house and said that there was no issue. I'm just stating that, what they told me, is that true?
No, that's not true. The health department said that it was up to the township that we belong in, our taxpayers go for that. The health department had no reason to do anything about it. Now, here's the thing, I went back to the health department because we have wells.
It should be a
They
health
still
department
said
issue.
that this was the township responsibility, and if the township doesn't clean it up, that we can go, the residents can go even higher. I have several people who signed these documents, and I can go clear through the whole town of Brownsville and get other signatures if you'd like, because they're all complaining about it.
What are you asking for the township to do?
It's right in there. It's right in there. We need to redo that ditch up there on Beach Street, and the road is falling apart because of all the water washing down through there.
So we
First
did that
thing we need to do is get up there, and we need to get with those people who own the farm and find out why their barn isn't properly irrigated. Because nobody, I don't care who it is, whether it's you or you, no one should have to live with horse shit and horse manure
Does that have anything to do
running
with
down
the
in your yard. Nobody should.
Hold on, go ahead, this is
Are
zoning,
you
right?
sure it's horse shit and horse manure?
Honey,
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Me and two of the neighbors picked it up.
Let me finish. The reason I'm saying is, do you know how many residents out here do not have septic that runs right into the ditches?
Honey?
And the health department said,
You can
there's
tell the difference.
nothing
Yeah.
you can do about it.
Yeah, it's not sewage. It's dark brown, and we actually found horse manure in it.
My poop's dark
And
brown.
we followed the source right up to their barn.
And if it falls
And it
apart, it
runs
looks
all
like
over
hay.
everybody's
All right,
grass and
so
ground.
listen,
That barn,
Okay.
listen.
that
So
specific
you're asking
barn.
the
And
township
it's
to
an
stop this?
agricultural
The
area.
township cannot come from.
No, it's not. I called it.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. I
S1 is
called it.
agricultural.
I called it.
S1 is agricultural.
I called them.
It is.
S1
I called
is
them. No.
agricultural.
I called them, and they
Okay.
said because the ditches were properly maintained, it's a township responsibility.
S1
But
is
it's up to the
agricultural.
township
It is.
to what,
Let it go.
and find out what's going on.
Okay.
I was just gonna
It
ask
is
you if I
agricultural.
shoot
It
the
really is.
I called them, and you'll see it in here.
Stairs are
Now here's a question for
Here.
you. So,
It's all in here.
There's nothing wrong.
Department of Agriculture, right here.
okay.
Okay? I was told that the town, this is the township soil water conservation responsibility, and I need to call them. It goes right on down the line, and I called all these people, and they all come back and said it's township responsibility. And there's no reason why our township can't take care of these ditches.
Okay, so if we were to put a ditch on the side of Main Street, hear me out, okay?
It's be on the east side.
On that side, the
On
top
the east
side.
side.
The east side, if we were to put a ditch down through there, to where that goes across on the north side of Long's property, correct? You said there was a culvert.
No, it's on the east side of Beach Street.
Yes, I understand that. You said there was a culvert underneath the road. I know there's one behind,
That runs east to west.
okay, and there's a culvert behind Clayton's. Yes.
I don't know if they.
You haven't heard it?
He does it through the day.
Brown house is
It's at night.
right next to where everybody's living, the next house up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
I didn't know
there's a
that.
culvert there.
And his basement, I
Okay.
talked to him, and his basement was also filling up.
Okay.
Dark brown,
Now go to the next ditch north.
okay.
Okay, there's a ditch there, correct?
You would think
On the other side,
There's a little culvert there,
okay.
but there's no swell or ditch there. On the east side of Beach Street, Keith Staggers closed that in with a bulldozer before those people brought the parkway. I stood and watched them do it. I notified the township about that, and everybody said there wasn't nothing that could be done. But it's an issue that's been going on ever since. Now it's even worse, because now we have horse manure, and horse urine running all the way down to our properties and all the way through town.
That's first.
How many years ago
And-
did
and-
Stagger fill that in?
And the ditches, pardon,
How many years ago did?
right before he sold the property
I did.
to the people, I don't know how long ago it's been, but we've had problems ever since.
We'll have to check it out right away, because if that's only.
Donnie Watkins was good about taking care of those ditches. Now, maybe some things, a lot of people didn't approve of what he did, but I'm gonna tell you what, Donnie Watkins took care of the ditches, and he knew how to do it.
He knew where all
Now,
the gas.
we had the funds to do this. This is what all these people are telling me. We have funds to take care of these ditches and these wells, and there's no reason why it's not being done. But Donnie Watkins always took care of those ditches, and he made sure that those were done so that people's homes and yards didn't get flooded. But now we got a whole different situation now.
Well, I'm not saying that there's not a problem that should be corrected, but I can tell you that one of these rains is one of the rains that we've had where we've got 2 inches in 10 minutes.
And honey, it's happened every year for however long people have filled that in. I don't know how long those people have lived there, but it's been going on ever since. Anybody, take a ride, walk on Beach Street. Look at what the water has done to Beach Street.
Every time it rains.
It's tore up.
Every time it
Bowling
rains.
Green Street, right below me, is so tore up. It's so bumpy and tore up. All of our gravel that I had, we paid $1,800 last year to get our driveway redone and re-gravel. Most of that gravel ran clear down the bottom and over in Brandon's
I
yard.
guess you'll have to get an attorney and sue the guy with
Is
the
it
horses
North Street?
and make you pay for it.
That's not the
Down down
point.
through?
The point is not
Is there
only,
a culvert goes across that
there's
there?
not only the
It
urine
goes
and
right to
the
Beach Street.
the township isn't keeping the
It goes right to
ditches
Beach
out.
Street.
Well, but the very first thing that's doing
It
it
goes back
is
out.
barring the horses. Right? I mean, it starts there, and then the ditches, it would still be going in the ditches, but it shouldn't.
Before it goes clear down.
The swells aren't being maintained, and, we need to.
Yeah.
Even if there was ditches there,
Yeah.
the horse manure would still be coming down the hill, it would just be going in the
That's
ditches.
right,
Up past, where you
here's
used
one
to,
thing,
where the.
they built
where
a
the-
barn, but there was not
House trailer
proper
through.
irrigation. You can't build
That's what you're
anything,
talking about, isn't it?
especially a
Where they
horse
do,
barn
when
on
they
a
do
hill,
the house, house trailer back.
where there's not
Where you
proper
have-
irrigation, and it's coming down in other people's yards.
I
You're
agree.
not allowed to run water in another people's yard. We have 230
Up
tell
by
us
the
that.
house.
Where's it gonna go even if they do clean out the ditches?
The horse manure, we're still gonna go down through there, but it won't be running down through all of our yards, it'll be going in the
Where's
culverts.
it going?
And it goes clear through Brownsville. It's a whole entire town.
It shouldn't be going,
Probably.
it shouldn't be going into the streets anyway.
No, it
That's the
shouldn't be.
bottom line.
Where's it supposed to go when it rains 2 inches?
not supposed to be coming into the streets.
You live down below all the places, where you pick up all the
I'm not talking about them.
Well, then you'll have to put through a zoning thing.
Okay, let's move on.
I have a question.
Go, right, you go ahead.
I have a question. Since you guys are talking about culverts and ditches, I lived in this township for over 22 years. I live on Cherry Hill Road. I would really like you guys to make a bigger culvert or something so that my road quits flooding every month,
Ours,
okay?
I'll
I
give
mean,
you
it
$50,000
floods
back.
all the way
Marcy,
into my
get you out of here.
driveway. Hey, I'm talking. It floods all the way into my driveway, so my driveway flushes out, so my gravel goes out on the road. And I think the township needs to replace that since God made it rain and, you know, it went out on the road. Do you know what I'm saying? And you guys need to bring the road up so that every time it rains, it doesn't flood. And then you guys don't have to keep going and fixing the road. And then I want you to go also over there on Laurel Hill, Mount Midland, Max Road, because it is the same thing. It kind of dips down just enough that it just flushes everything. And the bad problem is, it's all going to Glenford.
Does it fill in the force field?
You can't even drive on the road.
We
And
can't.
I can't leave my house, but that's not a problem, because I chose to live out in the middle of the country.
I could,
The crap you
I
have
lived
in your
right on
yard
Bowling Green Street and I could not leave to even go to work several times. I had to report late many times because it flooded.
Move.
Bowling Green
All right,
Street.
let's move on. I make a motion to pay bills.
Wait a minute.
Hey.
No, I want to know what's
Well,
going
the
to be
first step
done.
is for us to look at the right.
We'll look at it, we'll see what we can do with it.
That's
And
the
don't
first step.
forget about
Thank you.
Rankin Road. You guys maintain that? Every time it rains a lot, you can't get down that road, and then we can't get down Laurel Hill either. We can't get out anyway.
Church,
Oh, yeah,
Patty,
yeah.
why don't you talk to the Lord and see what he tells you, and we'll do that for you.
That's the one doing
Those are
it.
the only
Who's doing it?
coffee
Bob
shops.
knows better than that, he knows from the two or 3 inch of water coming, it's gonna come down that
Get that
creek.
water on it.
And the culvert's can't take care of it, it's
There
gonna go
were.
across the road.
But
I understand.
And it's not even, it's
Dig 'em
not
out.
even rain.
Dig a little power wash. We can dig a little trench over around this pond.
why can't we cut a piece
can't
that is
get out
long as
either.
his driveway and fix it for
That's
him?
township property.
It's going to take away all that, and it won't be flooding over Bowling Green
You might have had
Street.
something
And
to
it
say.
floods Brandon in his wife's yard.
That's right, they need to raise my road.
It floods it,
They
and
need
it
to get
floods
it
their
back to
basement.
gravel. It keeps going out
I
on
was
Township
trying to get to the
Road.
airport one morning when that flooded on both
I paid
ends.
$18.
Oh, motion is that
Right,
right.
or authorize the internet.
I appreciate it.
That's start there.
We could do something until something stops down.
Right, don't wait.
Well, it's not that, it's even if you get a little bit of rain, it's because they have never been maintained.
Well, you have to put an ordinance through, say no horses in the city. It's a city.
Bill, I think Bob, do you have a comment? Question?
Yes.
I've already talked
There
about.
was there a hard meeting here back in the past month?
Yes.
Supposed to have one?
Yes.
Can I get a copy of that, please?
We never could find what date it was, we missed it.
I thought it was the day we had the flood.
And it's coming.
Well,
When it does, the residents are.
There was one day that we couldn't get down Rankin Road or Laurel Hill, and I was going to the airport, and I almost missed that plane, with what I was taking there.
Try being late for work.
I've been school.
You have to tell them.
They said if
How do you able to leave and go to work or go to school?
I could go to
They
school.
said you got 2 minutes to get in this airport, or you, it's
That is God's call.
I second it.
What do you do with all the people down in New Orleans?
No, Levy's Road on that.
Huh?
No, Levy's Road number seven.
Oh, that's the road, hell, Mississippi,
No, Levy's Road.
No, it's Stevens Street.
The meeting of
Okay,
it,
well, I'll give you 10.
We're paying bills,
You do that.
That's all for you, you got
And
it.
I fixed the culvert down there that he won't fix, so the whole
You
bank.
see that truck, Bob? See that semi truck rolling over?
yeah.
I know you got, that's the only way I've got to get into my property.
Yeah, they got it all cleaned up, it's probably 6 o'clock maybe,
No,
that's
I
why I'm
can't.
hauling it out.
No, I can't.
That was about 10 o'clock.
You know, you always look for an
Fine,
argument,
you'll
I'm not
have to
gonna
find
argue with you tonight.
What happened, you forgot to stop?
I don't know. I don't know.
Were you up there?
Yeah, I see it.
Looks like you forgot to come off, you forgot to stop. Right, run out.
Everybody passes the buck though. Every time we ask the sheriff about something, about this guy shooting these bomb targets that shakes every window in our house, they tell us to tell them.
Don't do it good.
Tell them. He gets out there as soon as it starts to get dark and he puts these exploding targets on a board back towards our property line.
I got Mr.
And
Nosenberger.
all the windows in the house shake.
Yes, but what I brought up and what I gave to them, it could be easy fixes.
I heard you talking about it a long time ago.
And
I got
if-
Mr.
if-
Nosenberger in check.
If Mr. Hedges is, like I said, we got plenty
We
of
need some of the manure
Darcy
you
Lake
got.
right down here. There's no reason why we couldn't use it.
My foxes ain't making enough.
Township property.
Hey, Patty, don't
Shouldn't.
Oh, thanks.
Where you gonna put it across the street now?
We just have to spread some manure every
The
time we
old
get it.
culvert that you have down there,
First
it's not
step
big
here
enough
is
to take the water down
$4.9
there.
Arbor Sweet, $175.94.
Well, yeah, how much rain we get?
I'm talking about
How much
for
rain
8,
did we get
10
with that?
years. I'm talking about 8, 10 years. I got
You got
pictures
this
from,
stuff in there.
I've had pictures for years because Jack Hedges, Mr. Schreiber closed the swell in up there above East Street. And I told you guys about it years
As you can see
ago.
how much
It's on
$622.58.
There used to be a swell all the way along there. Yes, he did. I stood and watched him do it. And so did Diana Baker, who lived there at the time before Mr. Luckett bought the property. We stood there
Check
and watched him do it.
4489, January
He
3rd,
leveled it, right, he leveled it right there.
$71.11.
Right there, dude, his house. Comes
Another
right
time she did,
right down that
39 and a half
And he
hours.
set it up.
The back one. I'm talking about the front one too.
Runs right down the
Not,
street.
not just the back
There's a
one.
sign by
No, if you look at the picture, Jack,
Yes.
that runs right down. In fact, it ran
You're
in.
down below there, where you expect the water to go? Does it run uphill?
Would you like horse manure? Actually, it is coming on your property.
4487,
Yeah, well,
It is coming on this property.
Jeff
It is.
Chorpenning,
It is. Look at the picture.
4488,
Look at the picture.
Shane Ball,
No, it's not.
$890.28.
It had horse manure in it.
what's it
Go up and talk to the 3 neighbors that live up above me.
Coming down out of,
They saw it too.
what they say about it?
It's horse manure.
York
He
Fire
actually,
What the agriculture people
Dan.
say?
Dan, didn't the neighbor up there, didn't he show you the yard of the dark brown stuff that he had collected?
Yeah, I see
And
that.
it had horse manure in it.
York Fire Extinguisher, $59.25.
They'd be running down your road.
Read what I told you. Read what I told
Inspection.
you. The township responsibility.
Right here.
How many horses do they have?
Non-toxic
July
maintained
23rd,
wells
2014.
How many horses do they have up there now?
more than what they're supposed to have on that property because they have more horses than what Sacred
Do
do.
they feed them?
Many.
How much they feed them? They're
I don't know, they're not my horses.
They're not
And how
poor.
many?
Well,
I don't say
they're
that.
not poor because they have foster kids all the time, that's how they bought the farm.
Well, that's their business. They
Well, yeah,
are.
it is. That's right,
1478,
that's right, but if you want to know how many horses they have, what horses?
Public Entity
I don't know.
Consortium.
I don't know.
You should know.
They had 16 of them at one time.
Okay, now where in the agricultural district does it state how many animals you can have on your farm?
It is.
I knew that at one time.
Where does it state it in
So much-
Bowling Green Township, per acre, how many animals you can have?
Check
on them?
4485, $407.40, Carpenter Oil Company Incorporated.
Do you know where it states?
Are you, do you work for code, right? Well, you should know that.
It's not there. They can have as many animals as they want.
As long as they're
But you
properly,
already said
as long as they're
no.
properly maintained.
And you obviously know, because you said in S1 district, it's not an ag district.
As long as they are properly
And they
maintained.
are properly
No,
maintained.
they're not. Yes, they are. No, they're not.
$138.95, Mosquito Tractor Equipment Company for
Go ahead
Phillips.
and move, will
They
you?
came and looked and they didn't say anything, then they're fine.
Go ahead and move. We didn't want to look at it.
I move when I'm ready to move.
You'll move when you get the money and you can't get
They
it.
can't even tell you how
We'll
many.
get the money when the money comes, it's none of your have to either. I'm a citizen of this township. You are not.
All you've been all my life, ever since I've lived here for 32 years, is nothing but a bully. You've cussed me out, chewed me
I
out.
don't want to hear your email.
It's awful.
Wish you would.
4482, $13 on recycling company. Double wall pipe and just.
When did the S1 not become agricultural? Did you guys change the zoning again and not say something? Because according to the zoning, S1 is agricultural and business.
Third time this
And
week.
residential.
4481.
Third time this week we've changed it.
$1,095.95, Martin Incorporated, total mix.
Huh? No.
You fix those, you got it charged.
All
4480, Mouse Supply Company for signposts, $127.50.
Normal rain ain't bringing it down. It's these big gully washes.
2125 each.
We can do that.
Do you realize how much human bound is floating around in your guys' ditches out here?
Oh, I know.
And I've already talked about the department, and as long as you don't have a septic,
4492, Daniel Nelson,
a natural line coming through your septic.
$621.32.
No, what's already here is grandfather,
We can say it.
and they can't touch
We
it.
need to say the same.
They can't fit that down.
$8.34. Check 4493. Time sheet 41 and a half hours. Yeah, looks like this is the last one. Check 4486. Bart's lead, $24.24. Says for miles reimbursement. And she shows 48 miles on her time sheet. Unit price for 1 cent a mile. What's going on here this month? Your future signers?
Yeah, we got checks out. Yeah, we do.
Okay, I second it.
About.